at the Esports World Cup. 23 teams from 15 different regions embarked on a journey to see the world. And now we're down to the final four.
And
23
two of them
teams
are from the
15
Philippines.
different regions embarked on a journey to see the world.
With
And
Falcons,
now we're down to the final four.
And
23
two of them
teams
are
from 15 different regions embarked on a journey to see the world.
With Falcons, I feel so excited. I mean, this is the clash of the world champions. Sure, Liquid Echo sweeping and dominating Falcons AP.Bren in the grand finals of MPL Philippines is a statement. But just like what Super Marcos said, ibang AP.Bren na kasi makakalaban nila eh. Which literally means the Bees are a totally different team from what the Cavalry defeated. I'm so nervous, I'm so hyped, I'm so excited at the same time. Anyway, what were you saying, Sandstorm?
Oh, yeah, right. Falcons AP.Bren, Liquid Echo here at the Amazon Arena. Kita kits!
Hello and welcome to the first day of the semifinals. We're only days away to crown our champion for MSC. Carl Chezy is known as the young GOAT of MLBB because he's the first to win 2 World Championship titles. During that time, he was with Bren Esports, where they dominated the MLBB scene. But alongside with him, we gotta talk about Flap Chezy, the other half of the Chezy brothers, where they both hoisted the M2 memento. Today, we're gonna be seeing these former teammates clash against each other in an elimination match. We'll see who's the better team in the Land of Dawn. My name is Afel. Welcome to the Mid-Season Cup 2024 here at the Esports World Cup. Welcome to the third day of the knockout stage, where this is the first day for the semifinals of the Mid-Season Cup 2024 here at the Esports World Cup. My name's Afel. Alongside with me is our analyst. It's going to be Wolf as well as Mirko. How are you guys feeling with the clash of the champions?
Feeling really great, man. The fact that these two monsters, Titans, get to meet in the semifinals alone, it really feels like it's already a grand finals match.
I don't know how to feel, honestly, because I really wanted to be in the grand finals, but at the same time, it's a best of 5 where they're going to be bringing it all. I'm very happy because Falcons and AP.Bren have improved a lot ever since MPLPH finals, which means this definitely will not be a love set, a 3-0.
Yeah, I believe that it's going to go all the way. What about casters, Leo and Gideon? How are you guys feeling for the clash of the Titans for today?
Of course, we're feeling great about this. I mean, I don't know about you, Leo, but I'm definitely excited to see how intense these two Filipino teams can show the world how strong they truly are.
As worlds collide, I dressed for the occasion to hide my fear, my anxiety, and my stress, because I love these two teams to death, to bits. But to know that one of them falls and one of them moves on, I can't stand the fact that it has to come to this.
I mean, here's the thing, Leo. When one of your team loses, you know, the pain is there, and it will stay for a while, but at the end of the day, it'll be fine. Renko knows what I'm talking about.
I think I know a bit too much of what you're talking about, you know? At least you guys made it to the semis, so yeah, it's a bit more hurtful for me.
Feels good. That's all I can say. Feels good.
I mean, here's the thing. This is the nature of competition, and we got to talk about how intense it is because it's all single elimination. With that being said, yesterday, it was an amazing story. So let's actually catch yesterday's recap.
Now another immobile. Lydia onto the backside. Flap TZ with a dive again under the base. Sure, what are you gonna do? MP gets knocked up, and the prediction right into the quad shadow. What are they made of? Falcons aim. Takes him out. Final penalty zone onto 3 members. That's going to enhance Jade to knock them up. Straight into Vanix's damage. On this unforced Vanix going wild. Jade getting a triple kill as Kurt TZ goes godlike. NIP Flash 1-1.
Good luck. Hopefully you guys can push through. We're getting closer and closer to the grand finals, and only one will make it out, but keep striving to see the world, and I look forward to the grand finals.
So that was yesterday's recap, and it was brutal and legendary. Talk about, at the end of the day, Malaysian teams, we like to go 5 games. I have no idea why.
Yeah, the other side of the bracket, right? It's SRG going 5 games against Fireflux, and then obviously yesterday, Homeboys taking on NIP Flash 3-2 as well. It definitely seems like for the other side of the bracket, it's more discipline, it's more control. They understand how to take the game better, all the way from the early game to the later stage. But even then, TLPH 3-1, it's completely different. FCAP dominated through Siusu.
Yeah, and not only that, you don't have to only look at the games itself, but the way that they won these games. It was one-sided games, 11 minutes, but the first game was, what, 10, and then the second game was 11 minutes. The last game was, you know, they won the early game, they lost kind of the mid-game, but they brought it back like a boss, and it kind of felt like they're very commanding the entire tournament. So even though the Team Liquid Echo are the team that you would look at in this particular series to have the advantage, I think FCAP can really just bring it together. I think this is a total 50-50 between the two teams.
With that being said, we saw what happened yesterday, and a lot of top reactions coming through from the casters as well as the players. So let's check out Pepsi's top reactions.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
They really gotta highlight Homeboy's key, huh? Like, they just gotta really show it. Make sure you see the name of it just getting just like that. But with that being said, looking at yesterday's reaction, we've heard the teams buy. We've heard the, like, it's bittersweet. Some people are happy, some people are not so happy.
I don't know why you always, point at me when you say not so happy, but yeah, definitely the thrill and the agony when it comes to the competitions, right? There is always going to be a team that gets knocked out, and unfortunately, those are the teams that we saw yesterday. And unfortunately, today as well, it's a Filipino battle. So maybe it'll be a bit more bitter than sweet to see this happen.
Yeah, I think it's bitter because you think that they will just get into the semifinals. Is the last lap for one of these teams, which you really want to see in the grand finals. Both of them are really good at the grand finals. At the same time, it's great because they kind of test each other. They're going to be showing us what they have prepared for ever since MPLPH Season 14 finals. And we know for sure that this is, for both of these teams, the bigger prize, in fact. They are really looking at this tournament, not only because of how grand it is, but because, well, they have been very honest about it, the prize pool.
Let me just say, even being in top 8, at least in Malaysia, winning this, just being in the top 8, it's like you won MPL 4 times. That's how intense it is.
Top 8?
Yes. And with that, we got to look at our Aramco top 5 plays, because yesterday we got 8 games in total, so there's a lot that we can look at here. And I'm thinking, looking at Aramco top 5 plays, we're going to see some Julian as well. We're looking here at the first matchup between See You Soon going up against Falcons AP.Bren.
Yeah, this was masterful, I feel like, for See You Soon, right? The fact that they were able to play towards a later stage, and I think it's the understanding of giving MP the King the space with the Angela.
How about the duel between Hades as well as Chibi? That series, first 3 games of the series was all about this intense assassin battle that technically speaking, Chibi won, and then Hades brings it back in games 4 and 5, just playing the utility, completely surprising the mentality of Homeboys.
Oh yeah, trust me, I was able to talk to them and they were indeed surprised. They thought it was going to be all 5 games going for disaster. Look at that. Udil, man.
Yeah.
From the parking lot.
With the dawning light.
That was great. Xavier really has risen, and the final one here, this was also amazing, right? For both these teams, but honestly, from NIP Flash, Vanix. I got to talk to Jays after the game, and he said Vanix, he's known as the inevitable in Singapore.
The inevitable.
Because it doesn't matter how shaky he looks in the start of the game, he's always going to have an impact in the game, and we saw that there with the Maniac.
Oh, that's probably the toughest top Aramco play that
for you
I've watched. Putting at #1 is nothing much, just destroying the crystal.
Yeah,
Brutal.
just a kick onto Chibi so that he cannot like defend or clear the waves.
I mean, again,
Brutal.
This is how amazing the Mid-Season Cup 2024 has been, because I feel like a lot of people anticipated Homeboys to win that one, but NMB Flash really showed up. Let's check out the bracket to see how the entire tournament has been shaping up. And as you guys can see, right now we are at the semi-final stage where top 3 regions so far, at least for MSC, it is the Philippines, Malaysia, as well as Singapore.
It's been 3 whole years since we last saw Singapore actually make it to the top 4. So I'm personally rooting for NIP Flash now. Looking at their run in the group stages as well, most people thought they wouldn't even make it past group stage. And now they find themselves up against one of the tournament favorites, tournament favorites, undefeated for what, 103 days?
At this point, it's 105, I believe. But now we got to look at our club championship ranking with the things that's going on in the MLBB scene. Even Selangor Red Giants and Ninjas in Pajamas, NIP, are up here in the standings being number 7. But look at Team Falcons as well as Team Liquid. 1,275 points for Team Falcons. Team Liquid, if they win this one and they knock out Falcons AP.Bren, there's a chance for Liquid to jump up in the standings.
Yeah, it's very cool that we are getting club points now, and MLBB shares the same amount of points. Apparently, this is from Trex, by the way. So he did say that all esports titles are going to be treated equally. So
that's me.
W MLBB.
Speaking of W, we got to talk about the battle within the Soul Vessel Skin Series. Amon, Vessel of Deceit, as well as Hanabi, Vessel of Rage, is now available. Make sure you guys grab them because they're only going to be available up until the 5th of August. So make sure you guys grab them quick because the first draw is 50% off every single day. And a permanent Soul Vessel Series item is guaranteed in the first 10 draws. So make sure you guys join in now and get the skin as fast as possible. Speaking of which, Project Next Update is live. Discover the fresh excitement of equipment evolution and enjoy a revitalized, thrilling gameplay. Jump in now for a more dynamic and fun battle experience. Speaking of which, we are still going on because the Youth Fair is here with incredible bonuses and exciting events. Grab multiple permanent skins for free, just like Sylvana's Classroom Charm and his painted skin, Classroom Glam. More exciting events will be revealed, so make sure you guys watch out. Now we got to talk about both these teams here. Falcon AP.Bren going up against TLPH. This is a revenge match for Falcons AP.Bren because before, in the grand finals of MPL Philippines, it was a 4-0. And I'm pretty sure no one expected that.
Did you expect that?
No, absolutely not. I was wishing that it will be going the distance, especially because you look at their upper bracket finals when it went all the way to a 5-game series. There was a comeback that Echo had to pull through. It was Falcons AP.Bren actually being slated to have the better advantage, especially because Team Liquid Echo did not perform well in the group stages of MPLPH Season 14. So yeah, to answer your question, 4-0, not expected.
Yeah. Because here's the thing, you really got to put this into context. This is a GOAT race because looking at TLPH as well as Falcon AP.Bren, we're looking at Flap TZ, we're looking at Carl, we're looking at Few. This will really solidify their argument of why they're the GOAT.
For sure. You know, 2 world champion titles for both. For all 3, actually. For Carl Tizzy in 2 different teams. So that's another stat that's very, very unique for him. I definitely want to talk a little bit about the style, though, for both these teams. Because just listening to all the different pro players, a lot of the teams as well talking to me, it does seem like Falcons AP.Bren are the favorites coming into this matchup, despite the 4-0 loss in the grand finals. Falcons AP.Bren, I think for everybody watching as well, if you guys have been paying attention to the matches, it's been way more dominant. They've been way more clean. They've taken the games in much more of a dominant fashion. Meanwhile, for TLPH, it's definitely more like they're risk takers. They go for a lot of team fights that can get them a lead and can get them to win faster, but sometimes it doesn't pay off, and that gives an opportunity for the enemy team to come back and bite them.
Yeah, but then again, it's very difficult to compare because in the group stages, even when we say that, practically speaking, Falcons AP.Bren have the better, more dominant wins. Team Liquid Echo, it seems like they are also willing to kind of make some experiments, I would say, or maybe some unorthodox picks, like for example the Akai and as well as the Guinevere, which we thought is already out of meta, and you wouldn't imagine Carl TZ going back to those kinds of heroes, but they perform with that and they shift their focus onto Benny Cutie. So I don't want to cop out here, but it's very difficult to know who's got the advantage between these two teams.
I mean, let's talk about numbers here, because Team Liquid Echo has 90% first blood in 10 games. That means 9 out of 10 times they're going to be the ones getting the first blood. And Falcons AP.Bren has 78% first blood in 9 games, so 7 out of 9 games they will be getting the first blood. And Falcons AP.Bren, they have not dropped a game so far. So we're talking about aggression. First blood goes over to TLPH, but again, Falcon AP.Bren has not dropped a single game.
I think it's all about mid control for TLPH. That's why they've been able to get a lot of the first bloods, and it's all about getting the prio in the mid lane. Just like most of the matches that we have seen, the games are all dependent on the trio mid, and this is something that TLPH can take advantage of, I feel, up against Falcons AP.Bren. Because, yes, Few is an amazing player. I think when it comes down to just pure macro and game IQ, he does have the edge over Sanji. But when it comes to pure mechanics, I gotta give it to Sanji all day, every day. And if they are able to capitalize on some of the micro mistakes that Few tends to, show in these tournaments, tends to show in these games, it'll be a great weakness point that TLPH can capitalize on.
Yeah, for sure. Now for Fnatic, why do I say Fnatic? Falcons AP.Bren, we know that they have been utilizing a lot of assassins on Galtisi, and they actually loved this patch. They are very open about the fact that they're very comfortable in the meta game that we have right now, because the assassins and Galtisi, before getting into Falcons AP.Bren as a new player, was known as a pub stomper as the assassin.
And I think for me personally, Wolf, right, especially looking at this play from MP the King and See You Soon, this definitely highlights the little weakness that Falcons AP.Bren has, which is in a chaotic team fight. They're so clean, they're so disciplined, they're so good at the game that when it gets chaotic, when it doesn't go to what their plan or what they're expecting, it turns to a really scrappy team fight that an enemy team can actually capitalize on. And again, we saw that from See You Soon. MP the King took control of the fight, and I think that's also what we saw in the grand finals of MPL Philippines. That was what Liquid Echo were able to utilize. Just go for it, for the team fights, force these random team fights, and come out on top.
I feel like this is a shared weakness between all amazing teams, where they have a set system. A, B, C, you move towards all of this. But the moment someone breaks that system, it almost like, this is uncomfortable, so we have to do something else. But gentlemen, we gotta talk about coming up is gonna be the draft here, as we're watching Falcons AP.Bren as well as Team Liquid Echo entering the Amazon Arena. We gotta talk about the 3 most picked heroes, and the numbers might shock you. Maybe the picks not so much. Top 3 heroes: Roger, Charizla, as well as Valentina.
Okay, not a surprise.
But in terms of the number, I would say the Charizla as well as Valentina is around 54-56% pick rate.
Oh.
But the Roger, 70%.
And a first pick too.
So 70 and 50, like, that's a huge gap.
That's a massive gap.
Especially if you consider Rogers picked up either first in blue or first in red.
Yeah, but hold on, like we're moving forward now, because we got to look at Dr. Sulaiman Al Habib upcoming match. And again, as we're talking about it, this is the only match for today is going to be Liquid Echo going up against Falcons AP.Bren. And this time, do you guys feel like it will actually go the distance?
I hope so.
Yeah, I think so. This is mainly because of the improvements of of Falcons AP.Bren. I'm right this
Yeah.
time. And also because of the patch, I think we are going to see some different approach from the teams.
I agree.
Eve will be picked up eventually in this case. Lilia as well. You know, all of those are Northox.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. As we can see, we're about to enter the stage.
Let's go.
That being said, we're going to join over to Maracino as well as the Wood Sandstorm.
I feel really good and I feel very happy that we win against Falcons because they're a really good team. I think Falcons AP.Bren is really good right now compared to the MPL finals. We're really confident against them because we won against them in the finals and all of us are looking forward to face them.
We only have one chance and we do not have lower brackets. So we must give our 100%. I think Echo is not strong now because of the meta and we know how to beat them right now. So if we face them, we will beat them. My message to Sanford is play good tomorrow because I will beat you into pieces.
For 4 international MLBB tournaments, we witnessed Filipino teams gracing the grand finals.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, was the case for 2 MSCs and 2 M-Series World Championships.
And as we welcome the dawn of a new competitive landscape, fate decided to go a different way.
Because this time, the 2 Filipino representatives will face off in our semifinal, and only one will make it through to the grand finals.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Ayuhasayo Datu Asada,
welcome
to the Amazon Arena.
2 teams crowned as the world champion will now go head-to-head against each other for the only best-of-5 do-or-die match of the day.
Both teams dominated their respective groups and made it through to the knockout stage with an unblemished record. But things are about to change today here in the Amazon Arena because only one team will make it to the grand finals.
Introducing first, the Cavalry. En route to their journey here at Riyadh for MSC 2024 at the Esports World Cup, they proved that their rivals, the defending champions of the Philippines, can bleed. Now to strengthen their legacy, they must repeat history. Make some noise for Liquid Echo! This is Liquid Echo, Sanford, Carl Teasy, Sanji, JP, and Benny Cutie. Guided by Coach Tic Tac and Coach CJ, they returned to the stage to face their greatest challenge yet here at MSC 2024.
And on the opposing side, going against them in this semifinal, the Bees from the Hive, sporting a 100 game and match win rate coming into this bout. Can this team's be the key that will unlock the doors of vengeance? Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for Falcons AP.Bren! Bren, join us on the stage. Tutelage of Coach Ducky and Coach Treb. Flap Teasy, Kyle Teasy, Few, Ogwin, and Super Marco walk up on this stage and the Amazon Arena, claiming or attempting to claim the only title that has eluded them thus far.
And now they hold their key for the very last time, as later on they will hand it over to their opponent.
That's right, and that's only if they are defeated in this best of 5. You, boys and girls, will be fighting for your key and fighting for your tournament life. It is time to take your seats because the battle is about to begin in the land of Dawn.
They will get to keep their key if they win this tournament, and they have a chance to secure at least $500 and $500,000 and to unlock the key for the MSC 2024 trophy with 600 points.
That's right, because they are competing not only for the MSC title, but also for the title of the world's best esports club. And every tournament will count over the course of these 8 weeks at the Esports World Cup, Mara.
And I can see them right now. They're about to start their ping test with the greatest gaming phone, which is Asus ROG, powered by Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 mobile platform.
That's right, the Asus ROG phone is the official gaming phone of MSC 2024.
And you know what? This is not the last for MLBB action. They're in for a treat because MLBB action will come your way after MSC 2024 for 11 regions, 12 teams for MWI.
That's right, because it is a celebration of female pro players as they are breaking barriers and redefining esports, and that will take place starting July 24th here at the Esports World Cup. But Mara, right now we are in the Amazon Arena. We have 2 Filipino representatives, 2 world champions taking on each other in a best of 5, and only one will make it through.
A lot of people thought these 2 teams will face each other in the grand finals, as they are the strongest region, 2 of the strongest teams. So we're in for a treat because now they're facing each other in the semis. I can't imagine how this match is gonna be.
Honestly, I mean, look, if it wasn't for you, they might have been able to face each other in the grand finals, but nonetheless, I'm excited to see what these teams can do. But I want to check if the audience is ready, if you wouldn't mind, Mara.
Let's check it out. All right, everybody. Let's see if you're ready. Pinas. One more time. Pinas lang. Pinas lang.
Well, they seem ready.
It sounds like the Amazon Arena is set. The players are ready. The crowd is ready. I want to hear them one more time. Pinas lang. Let's turn it over to the panel.
That's right. Panelists, analysts, take it away. It's your time to shine. Let's get this show on the road.
And on the road we are. Gentlemen, are you guys hyped?
Oh, man. It feels like our hometown now, especially because they are really cheering and chanting Filipino words. They're cheering for both Filipino teams. They're loud.
I mean, Mirko,
Goodness.
are you hyped?
Yeah, of course, man. I mean, looking at the crowd there, It really does feel like, it's kind of a throwback to M5.
I want to get out. I want to get out of here and just watch there.
Yeah, it almost feels like hopefully we can do it there.
Here's the thing. We see the analysts is hype. I'm hype. Are you guys hype? Who you guys got for this match? Is it going to be Falcons AP.Bren or Liquid Echo? Head on to stcplay.gg right now and lock in your predictions. Now, guys, we got to talk about these two teams. We're going to help out the audience here because here's the thing. A very big difference that happened between the grand finals and right now, and that's the patch. So we got to see which team has, I would say, a better meta with this patch up. So who you guys think got this one?
Whew. Difficult. Who's got the better?
Not difficult for me. I feel like it's Falcon AP.Bren.
Okay.
Yeah,
well,
there you go. I
you answered your question then. Well, actually, if I were to choose, I feel I would want to be playing for Team Liquid Echo, just because, or at least be part of that team, because if you look at how they operate during the draft, it kind of feels like they are actually in a programming language. If you're IT or computer science, this if-else situation, like if this is being picked up, this is your answer. That's usually how I see Team Liquid Echo, and I have confirmed that they actually think like that because I was able to talk to Coach Tic Tac, and that means that it's not even like one-dimensional or whatsoever. It kind of feels like they're just playing the strongest hero that's most suited for any specific situation.
Yeah. I've got to agree with that. For Team Liquid Echo, it feels like they have a lot of different ways to take the game, but it kind of stops in the jungle. As much as we want to see Carl Teasy on the Assassins, as he was great on the Assassins, on the Ling as well in the group stages, he wasn't as great as Kyle Teasy, right? And that's really what stops them. And on the fact that also Falcons AP.Bren have Trevor, someone with, the team of Liquid Echo, who's been there for a long time as well. He definitely understands what Liquid Echo are thinking about, what they want to go for, and they can definitely punish Carl Teasy because just based on the knockout stages, teams who go for the utility jungles, they don't do too well.
Yeah.
Fireflux is a great example of that. They had to transition into the Assassins, even going on to the Amon, which worked for them. But again, if you have to adapt on the fly, it's going to be really tough. Hopefully Liquid Echo prepared for that.
I love that we're watching the players here and we can still hear the crowd. That shows how hyped it is. Like at this point, I don't know what's going to happen for our grand finals. But again, did you guys hear what Mara, as well as Dode Sandstorm said? Winning this one means $500,000 US. Like
500 G's.
Dude, that's a lot.
That's a lot. And
life-changing.
They know it too. They know what's at stake here because not only are they fighting for their organization pride, for their own pride, but that prize pool money, game-changing, life-changing money that will probably set them up for a lot.
Let's talk about the EXP lane because we saw the video where Flap, again, one of the GOATs, is like, you know what? Sanford, prepare because I'm going to destroy you to bits. And with that, we're jumping straight into the drafting phase. Falcon AP.Bren, blue side. Team Liquid Echo, red side. Falcons AP.Bren batting out the Valentina, batting out the Boxia, and LTLPH batting out the Chip as well as the Harif.
The first two picks of FCAP already reveals to me that they want to go Assassin. Baksha out-farms Assassins typically. Early game is difficult to play against. Of course, if you get through the early game, you have very strong scaling with the Assassins. But yeah, Valentin as well as Baksha, they're both anti-Assassins.
Yeah, that's what I said earlier, right? I think for Falcons AP.Bren, they understand that they have a massive advantage when it comes to the hero pool in the jungle. So they want to try to utilize that now by banning some of the picks from Carl Teasy, taking away the Baksha, because right now it does feel like for utility jungles, it's really just Baksha.
Yep. It's really just Baksha at this point. Maybe sometimes you pick up Akai, which is, TLPH likes to pick up, but that is going to be one of their deep pocket picks. It's going to be the Arlot, very natural ban. FCAP might be eyeing for a Roger here. There's the Loi ban. So Roger is the best pickup. Then maybe TLPH just goes back to the Teresa as well as the Moskov.
Okay. I think for the first pick, though, the fact that the Roger, 70% win rate, LaFell, you said it was 70%.
Actually, it was 70% pick rate. I feel like the win rate is actually a bit higher.
Than 70?
Yeah.
Huh. The fact that it's so good, it's so good as a flex pick. It's a great hero in both jungle and gold lane. I think equally as good right now. We've seen so many different players play it in different roles. And it's so far worked out so well in the knockout stages. So not strange to see that Roger first pick for Falcons AP.Bren.
I believe this could be Moskov Edith or Moskov Teresa. I would say, though, if you're looking at a Moskov, you want to get the Edith to go with it. there it is. Right.
Yeah, Wolf doing Wolf things as usual, you know? I really like the Moskov pick.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people will be kind of like pushed away from the Moskov pick in the first phase after seeing the Roger. But knowing that the Roger is such a good flex pick, you really got to get your hands on the Moskov because for Falcons AP.Bren, there's nothing stopping them from going Roger and then Moskov later to deny that pick away. But now we get it revealed. Roger's going gold. It's a Ling pick and the Terizla.
That's right.
Best hero in the XP when it comes to zero resource. You don't need resources on this guy.
Exactly. So, good answer. Obviously, we have revealed that this Roger is going to the gold lane. You have the Ling. Now, for TLPH, typically they answered this with Julian, but now we have seen in the group stages, the pocket pick was the Akai. I believe that if they pick up the Moskov, the typical answer for TLPH to go with it is a utility jungler because you don't want to take away the farm from the Moskov, especially because Moskov is a split push type of hero as well. You, for example, the Lord Dance. Imagine the Lord Dance, you're just going to be using the SOD.
Yeah, and right now, honestly, I gotta ask the casters here. What do you guys think of the first 3 picks for Falcons AP.Bren as well as TLPH?
Honestly, I wasn't expecting it, Lavelle. Echo taking a more passive stance for now. In the meantime, hopefully they have something that's going to scale on top of that Moskov as a secondary insurance.
I'm surprised that Liquid Echo had to revert to the Akai this early. I'm not so sure if FCAP expected this, if this is what Coach Trevor and Coach Ducky wanted.
Yeah, honestly, I was surprised that the Akai has been picked quite early as well. And now we're looking at the bans here, Wolf. What do you feel about the Angela as well as the Faramis ban for TLPH?
Moskov, Angela Ling is very scary, so you don't want to give that for sure. But it seems like the Faramis is a Sanji's, a few special that actually provides them a lot of not really sustain, but a lot of ways to really dive into the backlines. Imagine the Faramis Terizla with the Roger. I think you're always going to be going into the backlines with that. So that's probably why they banned it. Without the Yuzhong, you usually go for a Paquito now for TLPH. But they go far side. So, okay, so it's pretty standard.
I mean, like, keeping the Edith still a flex, can go to Rome, can go to the EXP.
Right.
For now, Falcons, AP.Bren, they're missing their mid. Potentially missing their roamer as well.
Yeah, I think the Farsa pick is great here. You know, they've already banned out the Faramis, the Angela, so 2 mid laners away from Few. And we did say earlier as well, before the draft even started, that you want to try to maximize the potential you have in the mid lane on Sanji. Force Few on a hero that can make a mistake. You try to capitalize on that here in the draft. Could be.
Yeah. And right now, honestly, casters watching this draft live, seeing this Farsa pick, Falcons AP.Bren, what do they need to do to respond?
Well, I think that Falcons AP.Bren, they've got enough ways to actually start taking out the Feathered Airstrike. Maybe a second insurance policy on top of that is going to be great. Like a minute. Oh, yep, there's the Minotaur as well. Hopefully, we do get to see some damage.
Julian.
Mid-Julian?
Yep, a few special.
Oh my goodness, mid-Julian. So now, Wolf, seeing this draft.
Yep.
What else are the answers? I mean, like, this Julian is a surprise.
Yeah, definitely. Well, there's Paquito. We expect it. I think for FCAP, they want to dive. For TLPH, they just want to go for Protect 1 around this Moskov.
Thank you very much to both our analysts, Mirko as well as Wolf. You guys have done an amazing job. And with that being said, we're throwing over to our casters for the first game of the semifinals. Casters, take it away.
Decisive action is required this game. Similar to Lafelle's hair, they must decide whether to stay straight or throw a curl. This is going to be a best of 5 of a lifetime here. Today, it's going to be me getting Yoon as well as Leo at the desk to keep you guys company for this match.
At your service, we'll be bringing you the starter to what could be a grand finals caliber matchup. I think everyone in the Amazon Arena is expecting that much. Everyone watching around the world. And talking about decisive action, I like how neither team had to take their time with the draft. I think they all knew what was coming even before the opponent got the pick.
They were blitzing through it, right? That's what we want to see here. And similar as we get into the land of Dawn, players are loaded up. It's going to be Falcons AP.Bren on the blue side up against Liquid Echo on red.
It's been a while since we've seen Few on this Julian. A lot of the Julians in MSC, from the group stage to the knockouts now, have been in the jungle, and they've been good. And now I want to see how a melee ranged mid might work, because look, they sent him home early.
Yep, I think, you know, a lot of it comes with a bit of sacrifice. Yes, you have some good CC, you're a big toolbox as a mid laner, but more importantly, in the earlier stages, you're not going to have a lot of control over that mid lane.
Yep. And that's trouble for Kyle TZ and Ogwin. Look at that. Kyle TZ struggling to get the farm up, going quickly, going from the purple down to that small camp all the way, while again, Ogwin sent home too. I think they're just taking shifts.
Yep, I mean, that's the beauty of it all, right? I mean, if Few dies here, then it's going to be a lot of trouble for the rest of the team. I'm expecting Liquid to try and play around that priority, so that's why we see that the side laners from FCAP being very, very aggressive whenever Kyle is nearby.
Yep, Kyle here just taking that crab, checking if Benny Cutie is free for the taken. JP watching out for the flank. All right, that's the gold lane situation. I think Marco's doing well. Up top, how about that? Flap versus Sanford, rather.
Yeah, this is going to be a little interesting, right? Because Sanford, especially when you're Paquito into Terizla, generally Terizla can control this lane clear much faster than you in the earlier stages of the game. And then once you start rolling around mid, it's a bit of a toss-up, right? It's all off of that very first turtle, who's walking away with more gold at the end of it.
Now it's spawning in just a few seconds. Kyle TZ can make his way there. That is Carl TZ as well, making a beeline, rushing his way with Sanji right next to him. And I think Few is trying to get to level 4. Not that he needs it, but I think that just the scaling of his skills will help.
Oh, absolutely, right? I mean, he needs to make sure that Flap TZ is also, like, in control of this lane. More importantly, at least they do deny this.
Kyle is attempting Grand Theft Purple. He does get it, trading out for the turtle. Carl TZ secures. Ogwin at less than half health. That's a non-starter. Neither team drawing first blood just yet.
I'm thinking whether Carl actually wants to go for the invade, but it looks like they're not going to do it. That's going to be one potential camp that they could fight later down the line. But at the same time, right, both Ogwin and as well as Few making sure that they're sticking together because, again, not a lot of wave clear in the mid lane, allowing TLPH to make that first rotation.
And a lot of those rotations are ending up in bottom. Whether you like it or not, there's a brewing fight there. There has been for the past couple of minutes. It's just neither team are looking to engage. JP taking the long bush. I think Ogwin is all the more aware. Neither want to pull the trigger first. Oh, here we go. Carl TZ inside FCAP's jungle. Kyle goes ahead, pulls the retry, and he's swinging away. They both let go. Oh, here comes Flap TZ. Jumping in with the penalty zone. Tempest of blades up. Kyle TZ, heavy spin. Trying to survive. Kyle TZ at a third of his health as well. Ooh. Kyle TZ barely standing. Either of my kids draw first blood.
It's unfortunate. Sanford, JP, and Sanji were trying to figure out where exactly he's going to exit through the jungle. And that's the meaning of having priority. I mean, great job on Kyle TZ winning out on that red tree, allowing him to extend the timer for how long that purple buff is going to stick on him. Liquid Echo have to play a little slower because Kyle, he's a menace. Look at him.
JP missing the combo as Kyle TZ just dancing on through, looking to take this little wanderer. Ends up spending retribution. Few very low. Sanji with the feather strike. JP popping the primordial wrath. No one home. Liquid Echo struggling to find any conversions here 4 minutes in.
And even for Super Marco, he's honestly doing a really good job trading against Benny QT down in this lane. We'll double check on how much gold has been distributed because we did see a couple of river crabs going over to Benny's side. Now, 7 seconds left, right? Next turtle is going to start spawning. I think Liquid Echo really need to think about how exactly they're going to attack the map. They can't just focus on Kyle. And yes, you want to be able to relieve pressure from Benny QT, but sacrifices need to be made.
All right. Luckily, it was Liquid Echo who secured the first turtle. So they have that economic advantage, and that's what keeps this gold lead relatively close. Falcons AP.Bren barely about 600, 800 ahead. Sanford catches a face full of a Fuse combo, and Flap TZ and Ogwin pulling turtle over their side. 1v1 between Few and Sanford, putting Sanford about a third of his health. Oh, wow. Flap TZ acting as the enforcer, keeping Carl TZ at bay.
They're going to be rotating around here. Oh, even Feather Airstrike commitment?
That's a huge skill spent by Sanji.
Oh.
We know in Fury forces Sanji to flicker back out. Kyle TZ secures the turtle. Coming in, jumping through the walls. Carl takes it out on Ogwin. That's one down for Falcons AP.Bren. Now Sanford looking to knock out the Filipino cannon. In comes JP, the flicker out from Flap. Few still dueling with JP. In comes the kill. That's 2 down for Falcons AP.Bren. JP still up. Oh, Kyle TZ takes him out. Few takes out Sanford. Huge trades, delayed wins for the Falcons, but Liquid Echo left reeling.
Woo, boy, what a trade. What an extended fight this is. And it's not over yet.
Tempest the Blaze off. They know his flicker was spent.
They calculated every moment. These battle spells are such a big indicator of who they want to punish, right? You overextend, you want to keep up with them. You want to make sure that they're always creeping on their leads. Let's look at this replay one more time, right? Because after the Minoan Fury, this is starting to look like an awkward situation. Sanford's realizing, hold on, we got to wait for Few to start throwing out those abilities. Once this Julian doesn't have anything left, that's when we go in.
Falcons AP.Bren really made the most of the few bodies they had. If I'm not mistaken, Liquid Echo, for the most part of that short, maybe 30-40 second engagement, had the numbers advantage.
They did, but let's pull it back for a second, because now that we're looking at the goal, we can see the real economic difference. Hold up, wow, okay. Trying to dive Super Marco like that. Hey, the bulletproof vest still on.
Yep. Has yet to die, but also has yet to take any kills. For the past 6.5 minutes, Gold Lane has been relatively mum. Now, checking on the items here, that is just 200 between Benny Cutie and Super Marco.
Well, considering everything, that's actually not too bad. The biggest lead that we are seeing is between the... Oh, boy.
40. Dodges it, still alive, gets a knockout punch.
Oh,
Kyle
no.
Teasy's down. Sanford gets the KO, outplaying Kyle Teasy.
Oh, that's so unfortunate. He was stutter stepping in the wrong directions, thinking that, like, hopefully, am I still on the wall? Wait.
Few catches a couple of volleys from Sanji's feathered airstrike, lets him go. Now the turtle fight.
Yep, they're gonna have to take their time here. We're still waiting for that Minoan Fury. Oh!
The onward by JP, forced to use a Primal Wrath. Flat Teasy, hammering away. Benny Cutie hitting that turtle to secure by Liquid Echo. Carl Teasy with a heavy spin.
It's great. It's looking so good for now, but they back away. Now, with Carl Teasy, he's timing. Oh!
Oh, Sanford! Oh! Dashing through the iframe, keeping him up.
No!
And now Kyle Teasy looking for the punish. Tempest a blaze into the sky. Finally. Kyle Teasy gets 1 over 40.
I'm telling you, this game is just taking your breath away, brother. This is one of those where every single crumb is going to be fought for. And so far, Kyle Teasy having the biggest lead in the game. Before we get into our next fight, this tier 1 should fall, and hopefully TLPH, they back off. They've already expanded so many resources.
Multiple wins for Liquid Echo down bottom. Forced the flicker out of Super Marco. Took the tier 1 anyways. And here's another look at that 1v1.
Ah, so beautiful, right? Like Sanford, he's thinking about the many different angles that he can go through. But the worst part about it is that if you have iframes, it's hard to land the heavy left hand to give you that extra shield. He would have loved the extra movement speed, but without that shield, he just pops.
Yep, couldn't have his cake and eat it too. He can only really move out of the way or get the shield and then maybe fight a little bit more to get some backup or maybe even kill the Ling. But now, oh no, View! The iframe out of the dash! Survives that 2v1. Now in comes Kyle Teasy again. How about it? Kyle versus 40. Chapter 3. They're backing out.
All right. The trilogy isn't done just yet. Kyle might still go for this, but I think for the most part, Sanji has got him covered.
Ooh, looking to burst down that Farsa, but no, Kyle's just gonna end up taking tier 1.
Yeah, like Kyle he's so strong right now. He's so far ahead of the game in comparison to Carl Teasy, but it's all about decisive action, like I said at the very beginning of the game, right? Despite Liquid Echo, we're losing out on a couple of trades. The gold lead isn't too far. They've gotten 2 turtles. They're basically trading 1 for 1 when it comes down to turns, and even during the items, right, we now are seeing Liquid Echo putting respect on FCAP's name. I'm seeing, at the very least, making sure that they've got Feather already, wait, sorry, not even Feather, sorry, Blood Wings coming in from Sanji to keep himself alive.
Yep, and going between the low econ heroes, Frederick was right. He mentioned that Terizla, despite being relatively low gains. Oh no! JP come in, the flicker combo. Feather strike from Sanji. They cancel through. Down goes Benny Cutie. Marco gets his head. Sanji's down as well. Kyle Teasy diving into the back line, finding him. 40 looking to flank him as well. Finds no one. Now he's the hunted. Ogwin healing them up. 40 says let's regroup. This is not a good fight to take. And that leaves Kyle Teasy's purple up for them to savor. What a snap!
That's what you need to see. Decisive action time and time again. And it looks like Falcons AP.Bren, they're also looking at least looking for a timing on these waves. Before that Lord spots, we need to start taking them out.
And looks like Falcons AP.Bren looking to blitz it. 40 here at a third of his health. JP in the same situation. Oh wow, 3 big bodies put up between the major objective and Falcons AP.Bren. Carl Teasy can still get this. The penalty zone coming in. The SOD, no one home. JP taken out. Flap Teasy traded for. That's another one. Super Marco taken out by Kyle Teasy. And there's a big knock-up. The Minoan Fury. Sanford's down. 3 for 2. But the major objective scored by Falcons AP.Bren. All this while, Benny was just working up top.
He's just farming. He's just getting that compound interest when you leave him alone in a lane, man. You can hear the money just dropping on the floor. Next tower falls. That's not too bad. But now the mid-tier 1 falls for Liquid Echo, and that's where all the problems are going to start beginning, right? Invades are going to be more prominent for Kyle TZ, even honestly with this with this considerable lead, 9,000 gold on him alone. But when we look at the damage dealt, you can see that Sanji, again, with less items, less econ, less gold, is still having some relevant numbers.
Which is the allegory of this whole situation. Liquid Echo, the more aggressive team. If you try to take out Sanji, you still have Benny Cutie and Sanford to deal with. That's not a clear go at a team fight because there's so many damage sources for Liquid Echo. So with that said, Falcons AP.Bren are playing the map. A huge push up top, in mid, down bottom. Kyle TZ did leave that there. Now Kyle TZ. He has a big question to answer, like, who do I hit with a heavy spin? He's only been using it to disperse, really.
Pretty much. I think he's been also just holding it for as long as possible during these turtle fights as well. I mean even the Lord fight, he basically wasn't even there, so I can't even say just yet. But now, with the Guardian's helmet, that's going to keep him alive a little bit longer. However, Falcons AP.Bren, at this point of time, right, after the Lord push, really good punish, right? You found 2 kills, you got the Lord, but now you've gotten every single outer turret. You can see now there's a much clearer lead for Falcons AP.Bren. 5,000 gold, now looking to extend it to at least 6 or 7 if they don't lose the next fight.
Yep, the biggest so far in this 12-minute bout. Now the purple in jeopardy for Liquid Echo. Are they going to try to save this for them? Ogwin coming in through the line of fire, does survive with a motivation roar, and Falcons AP.Bren just going to be happy with playing footsies.
I think at this point in time, that motivation roar, especially, oh yeah, he's already got the flash as well as the favor. He's going to be topping up his teammates really, really easily, allowing Falcons AP.Bren to continuously go back to the fight.
And himself too, he has the Oracle. So he can take maybe a few hits, maybe a few volleys from Sanji's Feathered Airstrike, and still be there for that delayed Minoan Fury. I think that's been a key in their success so far, by pulling the trigger very, very late.
Oh, speaking of pulling the trigger here, that's going to be a penalty zone gone.
No one home, hits the buff barely. I wonder what Flap TZ was thinking.
I think Flap TZ was like, if I happen to clip him, we go. If nothing, we just back away. There's a lot of disengage mechanics.
Yeah, which makes sense. If that was an all-in, he would have done the animation cancel flicker, because it's still up. So maybe he was just baiting something out from Liquid Echo. The cavalry did not bite.
I mean, they got to tickle him somehow, right? Especially when you're going for these coin flips. This is a relatively safe coin flip.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit, right? Just to get a little bit of a and get a reaction out of them. But still, stone cold from the side of Liquid Echo. If there's any momentum that they have to generate, it's first figuring out a way to lock Kyle TZ down and then bait Super Marco in. All of this on condition, though. Ogwin and Flap TZ have just been absolute brick walls.
Lord Dance already upon us. Carl TZ and JP showing themselves. The rest of Liquid Echo making themselves scarce. Ogwin spots a couple more. Carl TZ working on his purple, and JP holding his ground here at the Y brush.
They're going to take their time with this again. This is the calm or the storm. The waves are pushing in. It's not in the favor of Liquid Echo. They've got to do their housekeeping while Falcons continue to somewhat play this dance. They don't want to overextend here walking into that wide rush, but now that they know where Call TZ is, that's a lot of relief.
That's right. I wonder if they know where Sanji is too, and Benny Cutie. Sanford just barely making his way to the fight. Ogwin catches a few hits. The Sanji already spent that. Tempest the blades up. Down goes the Farsa. Minoan Fury to the back line. Benny Cutie spearing away for his life. Kyle TZ gonna be kiting through. Few catches Sanford. Puts him down to less than half health. Same situation for JP. JP coming in. Earth Shatter and onward. No one home. They let go. The concealed by JP. Gonna try to relocate. Caught by Few. Flickering back. Oh, there's a jump by Marco. Gets caught into the wall. They need to kite through. In comes the penalty zone.
He's hit hard, and now they're jumping forward.
Oh, he finds one and another. 2 free kills for Falcons AP.Bren. Kyle TZ in trouble. Not before he takes out Kyle TZ. TZ's on the ground. JP and Sanji, the only ones left. They're gonna crack right through. The inhibitor, the base is exposed.
15 minutes into this game, and the crystal is under threat.
Oh, Sanji gonna throw them out. Can he? There's no wave. The Minoan Fury spent in. They gotta respect the firepower. There's no wave in mid.
I mean, 13 seconds on Benny Cutie is gas for it. Can he hold?
Right. They force it through. Then force it through the brute for damage. Falcons AP.Bren draw first blood in this best of 5.
What a game here. Pick things up between these two Filipino giants here. Well done. GG
their heads.
I'm glad that the cavalry and the hive here in the Analyst Arena are having fun. Not much new.
That being said, let our analysts bring it down for you. Lefel.
Take it away.
What our first game of the match? What do you guys think about this game?
Oh man, I think it started all the way in the draft. The fact that Falcons AP.Bren were able to set up for Cal TZ. This is something that we were already talking about. You know, the pattern that Falcons AP.Bren definitely want to capitalize on is the fact that Cal TZ can't really play a lot of the assassins that well and aren't maybe not playing this as well, but not comfortable as he is on the Akai on the Baksha. The fact that they banned out the Baksha, forcing him on the Akai pick, like Wolf mentioned, that's the only utility jungle that Liquid Echo haven't been able to utilize in this tournament. Akai is a bad matchup against the Ling. Not in terms of the fighting, but in terms of the farming. Ling out-farmed him so hard in the game, all the way from the start as well. You can always see that Kyle TZ was ahead, and he was able to utilize that together with its insane mobility, the kit that you have, to get more leads across the map.
Yep. And as me and Midnight would say, this is real Mobile Legends. That's what you're seeing. But I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. I think when you look at these two teams that kind of know each other so much,
yeah,
I believe that you kind of see some weird interactions between the two teams. Like for this one, you can never imagine when they will try to fight. You will kind of can guess, but these two teams know each other so much in a way that they know that they can fight and cannot fight at certain points in the match, and they are also trying to outplay each other. You can see that they're always one step ahead of what the other what their opponents think, and then they will one-up it. Like for example, the Lord Dances, which we will see later on.
Yeah. The thing that I like about Falcons AP.Bren is that they make it easy for Kyle. I mean, Kyle's job is like, okay, you farm up, you get your items, and then when we say go in, you go in. Flap TZ has been getting these amazing engages, and not just Flap. Honestly, even Few has found his own moments as well.
Few was amazing in this game, by the way, and that's something that we expected Team Liquid Echo to try to capitalize, which is that mid prio. And the fact that they picked up the first up, for me at least, I wasn't really a big fan of that pick, especially after banning the Feramis and the Angela. Yeah. I thought, especially now considering they already have the Akai, they were set up for the Sanford Paquito last pick. I thought it was going to be a Lilia pick there, just to ensure mid prio. In the skirmishes, it does get a little, hard up against the Ling when he jumps to you. You can't really push the blooms down, but still, for mid prio, they gave Few so much room, too much room for him to maneuver around the map. And as an assassin, so mobile, you get so many more advantages. And you can see he was 1v1ing Sanford, I think, very early on, second turtle onwards.
Yeah, it's been proven that this Kyle TZ Ling should not be let through it. I think apart from the fact that maybe the Akai worked against other teams' Ling, but against Kyle TZ, it just can't work. The Link is such a strong opening coming out from Falcons AP.Bren, and they utilize it in a perfect manner. So you saw that in the first turtle, they didn't even attempt to take the turtle. Yeah. What Falcons AP.Bren did was to get and invade the opposing purple buff. So the focus is already there. You know that this Kyle TZ Link is gonna farm. They know that the Akai thrives against the Link if they actually have contact.
Exactly.
But they deny them of that.
Just to take some point coming in from what Mirko says, that the farming speed, the Link's mobility, making it so that the Link can farm faster than the Akai. I feel like the bigger issue here is that Falcons AP.Bren, they're forcing this Akai pick. I mean, let's say the Link gets banned. There's still Hayabusa. Nolan hasn't been winning a lot of games, but I feel like Kyle can do it. And I feel like he has a lot more options that as long as they force Carl TZ on his Akai, either way, Kyle will have an amazing time farming.
Jungle is the biggest issue right now for Liquid Echo, and that's something that they definitely need to, fix. We have seen Liquid Echo do this before, adjust mid-game, but it's going to be very, very hard when it is a hero pool issue. Yeah. For Carl, he's very, very comfortable on these utility jungles so that he can actually enable Sanford in the side lane, Benny in the side lane. But now it's all about being the #1 guy on your team as a jungler. You need to be prio.
I feel like at this moment in the analyst time, we have to say that it's not that Carl can't play the assassins. He's shown in MSC itself.
Absolutely.
He can. It's just that even in interviews and everything, it's like, if you give me A or B, utility or the assassins, I'm a utility kind of guy at this point. It's about comfort.
And it's more about him wanting to win. I think that the idea of winning matters more to him than it is like, you know, showing off for the assassins. He knows that he can win with the assassins, but he knows that he has the team has a much better time at winning with the utility junglers. That's why he picks up the Baksha, the Akai, and then the Guinevere, right? So I'm sure that there will be an assassin pick from Carl Tizzy in this particular series, but if the situation calls for it, he will 100% go to utility first.
Yeah, I think the utility definitely is a bit stronger. If they can ensure a Baksha pick, I think still it's a very, very good pick for Team Liquid Echo. But the fact that they were able also to make so many of those outplays happen from the side lanes, I think at this point, maybe they need to focus more on the individual side lanes over the neutral objectives if the strong points are the side lanes.
I mean, here's the thing, Wolf. During the highlights just now, you talked about the Lord dance, right? So with the help of Bob, can you show us what you're talking about?
Yeah, this is Bob. And the Lord is so different now in a way that it's you really have to think about it. So I'm going to be looking at the first Lord, which was, I think, the most instrumental Lord in the game. And you would notice that it is actually Benecuti as well as Sanji who died in this specific skirmish, which means that there is a little bit of advantage for Falcons AP.Bren. However, the ultimates are not available. Look at the ultimates only available for Super Marco, which is practically a non-ultimate because that's Roger. But what they did was to clear the mid, and then Sanford shows himself. Now, Flap as well as Few kind of showed that they wanted to go to the Lord, but Few was actually left. You can see in here that he held this particular bush, so please take put your attention on that bush. Few will stay there, and he is going to poke. And mind you, the entirety of there you go. That's the poke for Sanford from Few. His intent was actually not to kill Sanford, because he cannot one-shot Sanford, but he still went in for the combo because, well, that is a Julian, and at the same time, you don't have proper positioning. And then you can see here that the moment JP showed himself, he was actually poked by 3 or actually 4 members if you're gonna count Super Marco. So it kind of felt like, despite not having the ultimates, while TLPH has all of their ultimates intact, FCAP just focused on poking the important members of TLPH, and then they will eventually take this part of the map wherein Carl Tizzy is now gate kept. He can never enter through the zone, through the box of FCAP, and it's kind of a Lord dance wherein it's outside actually of the Lord Pit. Even before you get into the Lord Pit, you already win the dance. And that meant that they were forced to use the Edith ultimate, the Farsa ultimate. It was disastrous. Flap Tizzy lands a massive ultimate. At that point, it was already over. It was already checkmate from FCAP.
It's really the new version of the Lord dance, right, that we're seeing. And I'm glad you brought it up, because the little pokes that happened there was the reason they were able to take control of the fight and ultimately win it. Because, again, with all the ultimates being up, I was about to bring up this topic that Liquid Echo, they're one of the teams, or I would say the only team in the world that can actually fight with lower HP bars, with less resources, and still come out on top. So any little victory you can find through the poke, staying in the bush, like you said, a lot of these feints happening is what you guys can expect from Falcons AP.Bren. That's their adjustment to after their loss 4-0 in MPLPH Grand Finals.
So based on what we saw just now, just to talk about the evolution of the Lord dance, where before this, you're kind of baiting, you're inviting the opposing team to actually come into your box, into your circle, so that you have the a better circle of influence. But now it's just like, this is our place, don't enter. Right, so I feel like that's the new evolution of how to do Lord Dance. We're starting it. If anyone wants to come in, we're gonna poke you down so low that you can't contest in the first place.
Yeah, and they designed it in a way that, I mean, FCAP designed it in a way that there's not much of resources that they're going to be using. In fact, they didn't have their ultimates, right? Obviously, that Julian is a Julian. That's technically a non-ultimate because it's a refreshes. Every 12 or 10 seconds in the mid-game, you have your combo up. But then again, a Julian is not a confirmed kill at the mid-game, especially from the mid lane. So that was just a poke in the end.
I mean, with that being said, we're going to continue our conversation where we're talking about our Sony MVP, and it's going to be Carl Tizzy on that lane. So let's talk about position 1 here. How does the jungle evolve, and why is he so good in this game?
Well, firstly, for the jungle, the fact that the Assassins, has been so much prio is because you're so mobile on the map. The gold issue that we had before, where, gold laners just get way more gold, XP laners get way more XP, you've kind of been placed in a position of utility. Now it's way different already, just with the patch alone. Considering how many fights there is going to be on the map, the fact that on the Ling, you are able to make those decisions on the go. Whether you want to go for the fight in the early game, whether you want to go for the farm, you have so many ways to decide. And like you said, first turtle, Akai, that's the only strong point for the Akai up against Ling, is the fact that Akai will win in the first neutral objective battle when it comes down to level 4, level 4.
Yeah.
But after that, if Kyle TZ understands how to just buffer that, utilize that as an advantage, and that's what he did, utilize the finish poise, the mobility to go and clear. So even with the turtle, he went even.
Yeah, and everybody from FCAP just tries to put the side laners and whoever they see in the lane low, and then CalTC just cleans it up. I think that was a trend, which is... It looks very easy. It's very easy to say. That should be the playstyle of the Ling. And I think that if you're put in that spot, it's always most tempting if you have your 2-item power spike on the Ling. You want to really eliminate people from the side lane, especially if they're the gold laner. But then FCAP really just put some breaks on Kyle TZ and let him and allow him to be at the right moment.
Yeah, and for you guys at home, if you guys are watching MSC, MWI is coming up. Starting on July 24th is the female pro player time to shine. Catch the MLBB Women's Invitational 2024, where 12 teams from 11 regions break barriers and redefine esports. So make sure you guys check that out. But again, coming into this match, we're going into game number 2 of Falcons AP.Bren going up against TLPH. Adjustments here. Are we still going to see Falcons AP.Bren forcing Carl TZ on the Akai, or this time Carl TZ is like, okay, you know what? Let's fight fire with fire.
See, I think the Akai pick is fine. It's just how you try to enable the Akai pick, or let the Akai pick enable you. Firstly, you need to get mid-prio. That is number one. I think if they want to go for the Akai or any utility, that's what they have to do. Get the mid-prio on Sanji. Another way would just be to ban the Ling.
Yeah.
That's what they go for too. So Liquid Echo this time, blue side.
Yeah, it solves a lot of problems, actually. I think it was more of a jab coming out from TLPH, more like a check ping, as we call it. It's like you just try to, you're just gonna let through a very OP hero to a team that you respect so much. See if you can actually win over it. If you don't, then just ban it. And that's exactly what TLPH has done.
Yeah. Chip Valentina this time for Falcons AP.Bren. It should be the Lo Yi ban here for Falcons AP.Bren. I think despite, the Lo Yi not really being picked up as much, not as prio as the Chip, it's still ridiculous on these two teams. Sanji knows how to pull it off. But hey, for Falcons AP.Bren, if they really want to put prio on the Roger, maybe even on the Edith, some of these prio picks for FCAP, they could leave the Lo Yi open. And that's what they decide to do. They ban out the Roger, and they leave open the Lo Yi. Obviously, it's going to be picked up. But the fact that they prioed the Roger more, that's how much respect they have for Benny QD.
Exactly. This time, because they are on the red side, they will let it through. So what else is open? You don't really want to pick up the Moskov easily. At the same time, you want to pick the Assassins. I think this could be, Hayabusa Ruby that actually happened before. But yeah, in this case, maybe get the Terizla first. That's a great opening. And then pick up Valentina. It's also banned. Angela, perhaps. Or maybe they steal the Yu Zhong this time instead of the Terizla. I believe that if you want to pick up against the Lu Yi, you pick up Arlott. So I would say...
Wow.
Oh, Julian. Okay, so at least they can pick up the Terizla. Julian is...
Flex.
Flex.
It's flex.
Yeah,
for Falcons AP.Bren, it is a flex. It can go mid, it can go jungle. Heck, why not? Maybe we'll see a goal lane or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, that might be too far, gold lane, but I agree.
Yeah. Do you want to pick up the Baksha now if you are TLPH? Especially because you're going up against Terizla, who is reliant on Spell Vamp. I believe that makes it. There it is. They pick up the Arlott. They snatch the Arlott. Arlott is Lu Yi. Here we go. It worked before.
Moskov.
Many, many times. Do you want to pick up Moskov against Lu Yi?
They did.
Because they're Bren.
They definitely want to utilize at least something of global presence, right? The fact that the Lo Yi will be able to utilize that mobility technically with the teleports, you want to have some way to actually join in the team fight as well.
Casters, you guys are seeing this combination coming in from TLPH, the Lu Yi, the Arlott, as well as the Baksha. How do you guys feel? Do you guys think they can get mid-prio?
I think this time around, mid-prio is definitely a possibility, but at the same time, if they want mid-prio, I don't think that Arlott needs to be in that roam position. It's a give and take here, right? It's either EXP or support. Somebody's got to give prio.
What's shocking me about the way the draft has gone, at least for the first phase, is how unfazed these two teams are, because they're trading with big blows. These are big ticket heroes that you're allowing your opponents to have. So this must mean they both anticipated this much.
And now, Wolf, looking at how the ban has been shaping up, TLPH is really looking at this Julian as a flex. They're betting out the Hayabusa.
I think, especially because you picked up the Baksha as well as the Luyi, you don't want to pick up utility now if you're FCAP. So you might actually go for this Julian as the jungle, pick up or maybe last pick the few hero in that case so that you still keep this Julian intact. Now I'm curious, will FCAP still go for the Minotaur despite the Baksha being picked up on the other side, or will they just go for a Matilda so that you'll have a faster tempo? Or maybe even a Lolita. Yeah, they did pick it up.
There you go.
I didn't finish my sentence, but yeah, that was I was about to say the Lolita, so that also TLPH will not be able to pick it up.
That's cool.
Carry Minotaur, that's pretty much instant. So yeah, you pick up Eve maybe if you're FCAP.
Hold on. The biggest change recently is the mentality. We don't care if we win or lose. We just want to play the game. This is coming in from the coach, Ducky from Falcons, AP.Bren. And now FCAP. This final pickup will show where the Julian is going to be.
I think Lilia for FCAP maybe. If not, I believe that Eve might actually be one of the better options here so that you eliminate the threat of the carry. The Lilia makes wonders because you're not that afraid of the Lilia initiations. You can actually be scouting all the time.
Yeah, great against the Baksha too. Great against these frontliners who want to get up in your face. The fact that you can get so much mid-prio for the rest of the team, and you can also technically deny that mid-prio away from Liquid Echo to try and enable that Moskov in the gold lane to carry, which is already, by the way, a very good matchup. They go for the Lilia, and this is a very scary comp. Falcons AP.Bren for me.
Well, the thing is, we're going to throw it over to the cast. We're asking about this mid-prio, but now having the Lilia there is going to be difficult for TLPH to get that mid-prio. With that being said, Leo and Gideon, show us what you got in game number 2.
Look, we were stuck in the Matrix. We should have listened. We should have listened to Wolf at midnight. It's time to wake up, sheeple. This is the real MLBB, and that draft is absolutely nasty. I have to say, the aggression, any kind of aggression, it's going to have some major clapbacks.
Red pill or blue pill, mid-prio or team fight engagement. I think both are just as equally important, but if you're looking at new strats, Falcons AP.Bren are not shy to bring him out here and now.
Yeah, I think it's one of those moments where I have to agree with Miracle. FCAP do have a slightly better draft. We'll talk about it a little bit more once we head into the land of dawn. Welcome, people. It's game number 2 in this best of 5 series. Currently, FCAP is 1 point ahead of Liquid Echo. Liquid Echo on blue, FCAP on red.
You can see here the GOAT Carl TZ slightly faster on the uptake when it comes to his farm, but that does not stop Falcons AP.Bren from doing what they do best. Again, our analysts mentioned this. They're going to start pushing in mid. Look at how fast they cleared that wave, forcing Liquid Echo to be defensive in their trio.
I mean, I think they're learning a couple of things from the previous game. They're like, okay, maybe we traded a little too early the last time, but against few on this Lilia, it's harder to find these trades, so let's just focus on lane prio. Ooh, early flicker coming out of JP.
Yep, and that does open up a retry by Carl TZ on the Little Wanderer. Luckily, Kyle did hold his ground there, didn't pull the trigger just yet, but yeah, about, oh wait, team fight up top, Kyle TZ very low, is that gonna be first blood drawn? Yes, Carl TZ takes down Kyle. Flap might be up next, looking to get some spell vamp, but not this early on. Oh no. Liquid Echo not going to let go. They're going to take away the small camp too.
They got to take everything, right? And I think that Ogun, as much as he wants to use this Guardian's Bulwark to deny, it's really not going to mean too much. But at the same time, right, I think that Kyle, he already found the value in that first flicker, and now Carl TZ just has to choke him out of farm for the rest of this game. We're going to see how things are going to progress, but in the meantime, right, first turtle coming up in 15 seconds, and I think that Falcon AP.Bren, they might just give this up. Give up the first one, wait for the second turtle, and then play to the strengths of their comp. They're great at taking fights and then slowly peeling back, while Liquid Echo is like, we're good at holding ground and pushing forward.
Which is a very similar dynamic from game number 1, and it's that awareness, it's that answer to who's the beatdown that Falcons AP.Bren used to win game number 1 so handily. But how about now that they're down 1 kill, about 200, 300 gold, it's still them first to the scene, pulling the turtle slightly up. Can Kyle and Carl make it on time?
I definitely think that Carl can make it on time, especially with the Shield Unity, but honestly, both teams recognize that this doesn't seem like a very fruitful fight. Like, we could fight for this, but really, what are we going to get off of it, right? Because it's more ideal for Liquid Echo, because if JP gets that Minoan Fury, it's kind of hard for Falcons AP.Bren to re-engage into that fight, and that means that Ogwin needs to sit back when he really wants to be forward to deny skill shots.
And we really haven't seen much from that tree. Up top, oh no! Sanford taken out by Flap and Kyle, and now that's a man down. Liquid Echo have to fight for this turtle while missing out on a final slash. Here we go, the full-on engage, looking for that secure. In comes JP. Kyle Teasy secures the turtle, and then we know if you're by JP, finds no one, at least not in lethal range. And Kyle Teasy here taking his small camp while Sanford and Sanji come in. Quick diversion play. And Falcons AP.Bren make themselves scarce.
Woo! I mean, it's 1-1 so far. Everybody's trying to make sure that they aren't dying to silly little things, right? They're just trying to make sure that if they are going to get a lead, sure, don't let them extend it. Keep them at bay.
Again, this is real MLBB now. So there are no such thing as nothing fights. Nothing comes for free, and everything happens for a purpose. Super Marco throwing out the SOD up top. Could this be round 2? Sanford vengeancing from one to another. Still a replay from about a minute ago. Flap and Kyle take him out again.
I mean, they've been doing this time and time again, and I'm curious to see, is this because of, you know, the mechanics? They're trying to punish, like, if you want to show off your mechanics, sure, let's see how much you can test it against us as a more consistent comp, and honestly, an easier comp to pull off from the side of Falcons AP.Bren. I think that Liquid Echo really need to start thinking where they need to find these resources.
So far, there is a huge lead for Flap Teasy over Sanford, and a slight lead for Benny Cutie over Super Marco. That's Corrosion Scythe and change on Benny Cutie's carry already. 40 seconds until the next Lord is spawned, and I think we've yet to see the full breadth of what Sanji can do with that diversion. I think there could be bigger turns, especially when the Lord comes up.
I absolutely agree with you, but at the same time, it's on condition, right? Where's the penalty zone? Has Kaltizi used all 3 of his abilities? Has Ogwin used the Numenon Blast? Because even if you do get a flank, that Guardian's Bulwark is super annoying. Deflecting projectiles back at you, that takes away a lot of value from Sanji.
Which I think counts a majority of Liquid Echo's true damage, right? I mean, main damage sources. The spells Sanji throws out, those are all projectiles. Benny Cutie's light wheels, those are all projectiles.
Also very, very true, right? So Ogwin can get a lot of value in this game, and if it deflects into the right direction, who knows? He might actually, I mean, somebody might actually get a friendly fire kill.
Turtle already started up. Sanford gets sent through the diversion. Ogwin used Flicker, and there's a big jump in. Sanji taken out by Flap. SOD spent in. Kaltizi taken out by Sanford. Kaltizi secures the turtle. The fight collapses towards TLPH's side, and Sanford dashing on through. Super Marco, spear, lets him through, and they let him go. Falcons AP.Bren, not enough firepower just yet. Instead says, we'll move over to the turret.
And now they have to hold. Unfortunately, I mean, Sanji did have his Flicker available, right? I think he wanted to, it was extended a little bit. I mean, Marco does,
No, not like this. Super Marco gets dashed in on, survives with just 1 HP. Sanford goes down. Revenge strike and all. Now Kaltizi up next on the docket. Will he get popped? The answer is no. Still survives. Looking for the clapback from Liquid Echo. They're both backing off.
Yep, great peel from Sanji and JP. JP's waiting for that yin-yang reaction to occur, and then he jumps on in. Let's look at that replay one more time, right? Because Super Marco here, honestly, I definitely felt like he should have died, but you could see that everybody were blocking the projectiles from Kaltizi, meaning that only Sanford was capable of taking him out. And when the Purify occurs, it also gets rid of that demonic mark, so he doesn't get a reset.
Yep, looking at the gold lane per lane, so far, it's the same story. What I'm thinking here is Liquid Echo, they're just banking on Benny Cutie. He's the only one with a true lead over his lane mate. And if it comes down to it, that might be what matters, really. Benny Cutie versus Super Marco.
I think Few is going to play a role in that as well, right? Like Sanji, a little bit less because of Ogwin, but nothing really stops Few. If Kaltizi is too far, he's going to really struggle to get out of there once the Ice Queen wand is built, and the only person who can really force out that Black Shoes is going to be Sanford, or maybe even JP.
You never count out idle na mga kids. Few has been quiet here in this game, and maybe even better than the Julian he played from game 1. He easily takes control of these bushes. Look at that. He denies Carl Teasy vision.
I mean, Carl Teasy's still got the Litho Wander at the end of the day, so he spots both of them. He knows Ogwen's in that bush on top of it all. And in the meantime, just notice that despite Kyle, hey, I'm already 0-2, but I have 3 assists, and if you just supercharge me a little bit more, I might be able to one-shot Sanji.
Final turtle up, less than half health. In comes Carl Teasy with the Ignite, finds Flap Teasy. Turtle here approaching Restream range. The penalty zone coming in. Carl Teasy still secures. The SOD finds all of it. Final slash taken on Kyle Teasy. And now Falcons AP.Bren retreating. The diversion sends 3 in. Liquid Echo are on a stampede. They try to take down Ogwen, but the Boulevard will keep him alive.
Oh my
but maybe
God.
only for a second longer. Ogwen barely up. Carl Teasy finds his man. And now Flap Teasy cleaning up. 3v1. Can he do it?
He doesn't have the abilities. He's eventually going to fall unless he gets a trade back. Oh! Oh! He gets at least one before he goes down!
But Carl Teasy ends it anyways. Now here comes Flap pushing all that remains from Liquid Echo out of their jungle. Let's see how that all went for TLPH's way.
I mean, look at this. They clumped up too close together, and I think that JP, after he does the initial jump in, he needs to get back out. The execution is really, it stacks up the more damage you take, so make sure that when you get tagged by it, just minimize your trade. Just back up. Take one step back.
Not to mention the spell vamp from all of those targets. So he got maybe a little bit more HP that allowed for him for one more strike to get that kill regardless. 5-5, 24K to 23. Here's a diversion. I wonder if Kyle knows.
I mean, JP already showed himself, and Sanji's going to open up that map to see Kyle Teasy in that bush. In terms of items, Flap Teasy, the fact that he's gone for these Queen's Wings, he knows that he's going to be deep in the sauce.
Yep, and now he picked up the War Axe at 5-1-0. This isn't the usual situation you see a Terizla in. Again, he's a very low econ hero, but when he has the items, and when you put on a hero, or a player, rather, such as the Filipino cannon Flap, you end up with this.
And he's strong. He's really, really strong. The only one who can really deal with him right now is Benny QT. Now with the War Axe, it's going to be even more devastating. It's like, oh, you commit everything onto him. He's still fighting. He gets one big hit, and everybody, it just maxes out his War Axe, and Sanji, he's like, please don't make me flicker.
But the question is, do you really want that kind of situation? Don't you want all the farm and all the gold on a scaling hero? Terizla caps.
Terizla does cap, but it also combos extremely well with Kyle Teasy. Not to mention even Ogwen. This could set up some big plays for Super Marco. And I mean, obviously Few is going to enable that, but at the end of the day, it all comes down to, can you hit the penalty zone?
And we've yet to see it. We've yet to see it. 10 minutes in, a diversion play here, sending Benny, Sanford, and JP down. Something tells me Marco smells something is afoot.
Something isn't right here, and I think Marco's like, you know what? I'll just let the wave come to me. At the end of it all, Liquid just trying to...
Oh.
And that confirms it. That confirms
That's
it.
a jump scare.
It's a horror game, but that means on the opposite side of the map, Falcons AP.Bren are going to push TLPH out of position.
Yep. One thing you know about a diversion is you can send people out, but you can't send them back. So that means the trio from TLPH had to walk the long way, which allowed for Falcons AP.Bren a moment of aggression, but now we reset. Super Marco maintaining his placement down there in the bottom, pushing out that wave. All this while, Kyle Teasy was managing top.
Yeah, but I think, you know, now the side lanes are starting to even out. Well, maybe not for Sanford here, but everybody else starting to find their own footing. Small, very small leads. Oh, the fight begins.
Could this be the turn? Flap Teasy taken out. No answers except for Minnow and Fury, forcing JP to flicker back out. Oh, no. That was the Numenon Blast first pulled. The JP held his trigger there.
Yeah. I'm actually surprised that Flap Teasy died so quickly. It just goes to show that Benny is he's complete. He's done with the Trinity build. Doesn't matter what else Flap Teasy builds. He's just going to die even faster. Put more health on you, good sir.
That was, what, 2 seconds all it took to take off Flap. So this is what I was saying. Like, do you really want to Terizla? Because at the end of the day, at best case scenario, he's a penalty zone machine.
And I think that's all you need, right? Every extra second from Flap Teasy that can buy for the rest of the team means another stack for Few. Another opportunity for Super Marco to double up on that golden staff stacks as well. All in all, right, it's whether you can set the fight up. And I think right now, Liquid Echo is making it hard.
Yep, they're not allowing Falcons AP.Bren to get any solid footing. They start up the Lord Dance, pulling it out, wailing away very casually. as 3 members of Falcons AP.Bren push through. Flap holding that river, while Kyle TZ just casually farms. Wow, look at this. Nice wave setup down bottom by Marco.
Yep, I mean, Marco, he's not being part of any of these fights technically with the SOD. He's got a global teleportation system on the... I mean, there's so much CC on Falcons AP.Bren. It's pretty hard to miss the SOD as long as you're communicating.
Yep, and you hoarding them off into a full corridor. Oh, there's a final slash. Few with the black shoes already. Kyle TZ spotting Marco here. Put out a third of his health. Benny Cutie dashing forward. Flap TZ gets the vengeance, gets the vengeance. Numenon a blast into a big, beefy boy. They answer back with a Minoan Fury. No dice. Both teams back out.
See, this is what I was telling you. Falcons AP.Bren, yes, they can take space, but they can also give up space and kite backwards really nicely, as long as you chain your abilities well. Kyle is throwing down the chains. Hey, you can't walk forward. Numenon Blast comes out in time, so that, unfortunately for Benny QT, who is very short range, must take a full step back, if not dash backwards.
Something tells me this comes down to not just the damage dealers. We keep talking about Few, Sanji, Benny, Marco. Hey, maybe it comes down to the roamers too. You want to have a big Numenon Blast to set up, a big Minoan Fury to reply with, and then maybe that's why Liquid Echo is so good at controlling this now, is because they have the easier to pull off CC in their XP laner, the final slash.
I mean, there is some extra layers to it, right? Because Liquid Echo, because they have consistent ways to engage, those are the main two. They're looking at JP as well as Sanford. They're not too bothered by Carl TZ because they know they can peel one guy off, but Sanford is a different story.
These are both immovable objects. That's what's happening here. No unstoppable forces just yet. Sanford sent over into that small brush. Few knows that he's there, and all this while, look at this. Marco just continuing to work on that wave. I mean, they already pulled that trick up with the mid-tier 1. I think they can't afford to keep sending Benny Cutie down to clear that wave. Look, they just gave up. They just let it happen.
Exactly, and this is what we call tempo, right? Falcons AP.Bren, they know that they've got the drop on Liquid Echo. They know they can hold their position and give it up at the same time. So when Super Marco gets these small pushes and they pull backwards, reset the Lord, do it all over again, and Liquid Echo is like, no, we have to respond. We need to take the space.
Oh, Lord is at the point of no return. Oh, they do go for the reset, and they try to melt down Few, but it's not going to happen. In comes JP, the final slash. Do you get caught? There's a dash by Kyle TZ, bursting them down. Sanford falls. The Minoan Fury has been used. The Numenon Black pulled out. The diversion used to retreat, but it's not going to happen. FCAP walk away with a pickoff, and they continue to push in. They're not sending anyone home. JP holding his ground. The SOD coming in. Marco gets caught out. There's 3 over there, but is that enough?
He's bulletproof, man. This kid is absolutely bulletproof. He goes in whenever he feels like it in the middle of 3, knowing that they've got no resources.
Flap TZ pulls a trigger, point blank, penalty zone, as the rest of them collapse onto Sanji. That's 2 down. Falcons AP.Bren back to regular programming, taking out the Lord.
Yep, and now they're going to take the space into that purple, insta-invade and fuse, just showing where the line is in the sand, drawing the borders right at Liquid Echo's purple buff. Now, we need to take a step back here, because despite everything that has happened, Falcons AP.Bren have been making smart decision after smart decision, but if we got a replay of that fight, man, Ogren is a monster. Puts up the shield, and Benny QT nearly kills JP on accident.
Man, we talked about how it might be between these roamers. Ogwen has eyes behind his back. He set everything up so that Falcons AP.Bren can walk away with, again, the correct small victories that allow for that huge turn. If we were counting out as a Lord Dance, I'd say that lasted a good 3 or 4 minutes.
Honestly, I would say even more, because of how many waves had to spawn each and every time, right? We saw like, what, 6 waves? So yeah, you're definitely on the correct estimate here, with the Lord already knocking on their doors. I think Falcons AP.Bren, they want at least, at a minimum, 2 inhibitors.
Oh no, the cavalry taken out of their breath. We're currently in the skies because the map has been turned red. Falcons AP.Bren are soaring through, managing to get a 3-wave sink. This bottom lane inhibitor is gonna get taken out. Up next on the docket, top lane, mid might be up next as well. Where did this 6K gold lead come from? Falcons AP.Bren are threatening to expose the base.
And they get it. They get everything and a little bit more. All 3 inhibitors are down. The best situation for Falcons AP.Bren. I think the major issue here is that Liquid Echo, they don't have a means to disengage from these types of fights. When they've committed all their resources, then it's gone, right? There's nothing else. You can't pull back.
The simplest form of this, were the multiple diversion play attempts. They would send 2 or 3 out across the map, and when it doesn't work out, all right, we'll spend the next 10-15 seconds walking back to where the dance began anyways. So we'll see if there's anything up left in the sleeves of Liquid Echo, because they need to pull that out a minute from now. And again, maybe you could say this is a different angle, but it's mirrored. It's literally mirrored. They're just moving down to the lower quarter, and it's likely Falcons AP.Bren could pull the same trick.
I mean, they're probably going to pull the same trick, if I'm being perfectly honest. And I mean, based off of the items as well, I don't think it's going to be necessarily enough, because half the time they're just sustaining through. Worst comes to worst, when you think you're about to make the super play, then of course the man with literally super in his name shows up and knocks you back.
All right, and in that last moment where he SOD'd into 3, you made me a believer. I mean, I was a believer from day one. He is indeed bulletproof, but how? Well, you know what makes him bulletproof isn't even really his own skills. It's the rest of his teammates. Like, they allowed for him to do that.
They're probably screaming at him, they've got nothing, and he's like, okay,
I'm going. And again, 1 and 0 and 1. That definitely was a punishable play, but the rest of Falcons AP.Bren made sure Marco would not fall. Now the Lord has spawned CarlTeasy and JP in the proximity. Again, Liquid Echo don't need to panic. They have the cross-map play. Sanji here holding a far bush. And the rest of Falcons AP.Bren looking to, again, put up a barrier. It's a huge box they're playing with. Marco wailing away at the Lord. They're going to help to go. CarlTeasy with the steal! CarlTeasy with the steal! The Numenor Blast keeps him in place. They are going to punish him. He's still alive, rolling out. His immortality still intact. Down goes Sanji. The Minoan Fury spent in. Few from the side lanes here. JP taken out. Oh, here we go. Winter Crown spent. Few gets taken out by Marco. Benny traded out too. And they're still going. They're still going. 2 left for Liquid Echo to defend. And they're counting bodies. Down goes CarlTeasy. His immortality popped.
it's possible they could look beyond this.
Sanford down. It's a wipeout. Falcons AP.Bren at match point. FCAP is here. Falcons are here.
They've done such good work in truly stretching TLPH like pizza dough on that match. Now in match point, this is a huge sigh of relief for the FCAP fans.
CarlTeasy really tried. CarlTeasy from minute 0 was on 2 or 3 members of FCAP. He never let go. But the way FCAP played, like not just FCAP, not just Team Liquid PH, they stretched out CarlTeasy.
I mean, he tried. He tried to put everybody in the backpack and get them over that threshold. But honestly, this Lolita pick is really hindering them. As much as he wants to peel, man, they can't get the damage in, and Few gets to play a free game because of that. Doesn't get punished for it.
It was very low-key for that mid-trio, but they made it work.
They really did make it work. I mean, honestly, I think even our analysts can agree here that FCAP had a phenomenal draft here. We're going to throw it over to our analysts to really deep dive into this game, too. Analysts, take it away.
Most definitely, with that incredible draft. Now, it's match point, gentlemen.
Yeah, I mean, Falcons AP.Bren, the way that they were able to just handle the draft was amazing. Even though me and Wolf, we also agree that, you know, the first phase, it was actually Liquid Echo that got an amazing start to the drafts, but how they finished it off, the Kaja ban into baiting out, they knew it was either the carry or the Natan coming up, and then they picked up the Lolita, and then the last pick in the Lilia just gave them all the mid-prio necessary to really put this composition and take the game.
Because of the fact that they got Lolita and Lilia in the mid lane, what that allowed is for them to have a much better shot with their, I would say, with their marksman as well as their jungler, because you don't really have to take care of those lanes anymore. The turn is obviously that's a lane that's not gonna lose, and you saw that wonderful reaction, by the way. Lilia Lolita is such a strong mid duo in a way that you get mid prio, and when you say mid prio, you mean like clearing the waves faster. You're not gonna be stopped. You're always not seen on the map because you clear the waves fast, and then you can help your teammates. For example, Moscow versus carry. I personally feel that that is actually Moscow-sided.
I agree.
Yeah.
It is.
And then if you factor in this Lolita, that even makes it even more, you know, more stressful for the carry to deal with.
I mean, honestly, looking at this game, there's a few things that we got to talk about, right? First of all, Falcons AP.Bren, still no game loss in MSC so far. So that's number one. That's pretty big.
That's right.
Number two, the box set did work well for Carl Teasy individually, but we got to talk about a team because looking at all those skirmishes, it's always Falcons and AP.Bren on top. Comes to the question, is it because they don't have enough damage?
I think so.
Right?
You can see that there's
Like, they got a lot of control, but
they don't have AoE damage, I would say. And despite them having having the backshot, obviously that's strong here, low E as well, but you have to land the double vacuum. That's very hero-centric, and you kind of have to be combo-centric as well. If you're getting forced out, you're not dealing the damage. It's really more... I think the term that I wanted to use is very frontal, coming out from a side of Team Liquid Echo, wherein if you're looking at the carry...
It's too honest.
Too honest, you want to... It's one-dimensional, you want to go there. And then the carry combination with the Lui, you really need someone to lock down... You need your teammates to lock down someone so that you can go upon the hero, put them in your box, and then try to kill him off. That's the idea why they pick up this Arlot. However, the fix coming out from Falcons AP.Bren was to actually stop the Arlot from farming by constantly ganking him. Apart from one death from Sanford, they never, FCAP did not stop putting a lot of pressure in the top lane.
Yeah, this matchup, right? The best XP in the modern times takes on the best XP of all time. And we know that for, I think in terms of pure mechanics, I will still have to say, you know, Sanford definitely trumps Flapteasy, but when it comes to the game IQ, again, the macro sense, how he's able to utilize these advantages, again, it was almost never a 1v1. It was always a 2v1. There was always an advantage that Flapteasy was able to utilize, and that just goes to show you why he's at the top for so long.
I mean, what we're talking about is because we need a little bit more insight coming in from both teams. In fact, we prepared a special video for you guys, so let's check it out.
Ngayong natalo na namin yung See You Soon, meron kaming haharapin na mas malaking challenge para sa team namin. Para magka-chance kami na makuha yung huling titulo na kailangan namin, magpe-prepare kami at masiisipin namin yung mga ginagawa namin para manalo. Kailangan namin maghanda para durugin yung Team Liquid Echo bukas. Siguro nanalo lang yung Echo sa amin kasi may mga nagkakasakit sa amin tuwing playoffs, tas nakakalaban namin sila. Ngayon healthy na kami, tignan natin ngayon. Parehas kaming world champion at parehas kaming may 2-time world champion. At MSC na lang yung kailangan naming makuha. Pinas pa rin yung pinakamalakas sa pagdating sa Mobile Legends Esports at papatunayan na lang namin kung sino ba talaga yung mas magaling sa aming dalawa. Papaalala ko lang ulit sa inyo kami pa rin ang current world champions kasi Falcons AP.Bren lang ang malakas.
I mean, is there really any more to say? We Falcons AP.Bren are the strongest. I mean, like, I feel like at that point it's like, you know what?
Yeah. You know what? Lang malakas is a tricky, tricky phrase because it cannot translate to a very long sentence. It means like Falcons AP.Bren are solely the strong team. Like
they're the only strong.
The only strong team. Like exclusively the only strong team or something like that. So it's like. They're the only strong team here.
And you know, considering how the pattern has been, LaFell, interviews have not really aged well, but that one has.
That one definitely has. And now we got to look at our Sony MVP, and it's going to be Flapteasy, the guy that has the confidence. And he said, now that we're healthy, we're all good.
They're so good at playing the game. And here for Flapteasy, the way that he was able to tackle this game was just phenomenal. I think for this matchup, for this game, this series, Terizla is going to be a prio pick. I think after this, Liquid Echo will have to also think about it, whether they want to ban it, whether they want to pick it up for themselves, because really, when Flapteasy gets a pick where he doesn't really need to care that much about the laning phase and can actually just go into the team fights, play for the team, CC, tank up, that's where you see the real Flapteasy.
You can see top lane, there was actually problems for Flapteasy face. He's 3-0 already at 5 minutes in, which means that he is very, very tanky. Look at how Ogwin and Flapteasy protected Super Marco, that punishing Sanford all this while. And of course, because of the fact that there's a massive gold difference between the winners, it is very nice for Sanford to be easily taken out in the team fights.
Honestly, at this point, I'm surprised Flapteasy doesn't do magic damage as well, right? Like, he does damage, he tanks the damage, he sets up for the team, he gets the kills. What else is it he's not going to do, right?
He's going to do this too.
He's going to do that too. We got to look at the MVP. 5.5 KDA, but 92% field participation. That's the real number you got to look at.
That's why I think the Terizla, again, we mentioned this in game number 1. You don't need a lot of resources to make the Terizla work. The fact that he got a lot of resources makes it so that he can work twice as much. So active around the map, and also the Queen's Wings first item. Your Terizla's already a dirty pick. It's like a sweaty pick. And then he goes for the Queen's Wings first item, just goes in front, stands there, tells everybody, hit me, I like it, you know, because the rest of the team can deal with them.
Not gonna lie, I feel that.
You feel that, right?
I feel that. Yeah, it's like
as a roamer, you feel that.
As a roamer, yeah. Honestly, I gotta say, as a roamer, win a crown has been amazing.
Foo.
With a ground foo.
With a ground foo. And now with this match point, we got more to talk about here. Let's talk about the bulletproof Super Marco as well, because again, we got to highlight between Benny Cutie and Super Marco in terms of the numbers. Look at the difference in numbers, man. Look at the KDA.
Yeah, that's why he's bulletproof, right? He just doesn't die in these games. And I've been telling everybody as well, even like before M5, even at MSC, that this guy is probably the best gold laner in the world. And you get to see him now in his prime again.
Yeah.
Maybe they were sick in the playoffs, you know?
Yeah, I mean, there were so many factors, of course. And the fact that the Team Liquid Echo won back-to-back against them, I think that goes to show how prepared Team Liquid Echo was. And to be fair, I think Team Liquid Echo did figure out Falcons AP.Bren during the playoffs of MLBB, but now it is a totally different tournament. When it comes to figuring things out, it was pretty evident that FCAP is actually the team that figured out the metagame that we have right now, which is revolving around Super Marco, just picking up the Roger, undying Roger, a bulletproof Roger, in fact.
It's all about the understanding of when you want to go in, when you want to go for the fights as well. But it's not like Super Marco is literally the perfect goal laner. Well, technically he is in the landscape of things, but sometimes you still do see some of the mistakes come in from Super Marco, and mainly it is in the laning phase. He's actually quite exposed to a few of the solo kills that has happened throughout the tournament, so maybe if Liquid Echo want to go for Super Marco, it should still be in the laning phase, because once he gets out, yeah, there ain't no way, brother man.
Yep.
I feel the craziest thing when we're talking about both Benny QD as well as Super Marco is that when you go into interviews and when you ask them, oh, how do you get this amazing KDA, blah, 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 and they always say, oh, we're just playing safe, you know, like we're making sure we don't die, blah, blah, blah. But the thing is, they say they're playing safe. At the same time, you see them going for this crazy highlight plays. Like,
I agree.
It's so weird when you have like this amazing goal laner instinct to know when it's like there's 5 people in front and I'm 4 items, I'd win.
Yeah. 8 minutes, you have the Nathan going in for Novaria, just how confident he was in this particular game.
That's not normal, man.
That's not normal, man. And yeah, the Benny Cutie signature Nathan bump, a combo. I don't know, have you ever tried that?
I saw that.
He saw it. It's difficult to do.
It is very difficult to do. As a gold lane player myself, I have so much respect for both these gold laners. And for Benny, I would say we're more normalized to Benny plays because we've seen it at M4. The way that he takes on these team fights, you know, more of that guerrilla warfare, waiting for some of the resources coming in towards the end. And that's why I really feel for Falcons AP.Bren, they respected that. They banned the Roger instead of the Lo Yi. That's how much respect they have for Benny Cutie on a pick like the Roger that can amplify his playstyle to a whole new level.
Yeah, honestly, looking at both players here, they're amazing. It's going to be crazy to think one of them will be eliminated after this match. TLPH, if they want to stay in the competition, if they want to stay in MSC, they got to make sure that this will be your first sweep. With that being said, thank you very much, guys. But we're actually going over to stage where Mara has something amazing for us, as well as the Wood Sandstorm.
I am here with the Falcons AP.Bren. Lovely, lovely audience. And I want to see, are you guys hyped up? All right, now with me, I say Falcons, you say AP.Bren. Let's go, Falcons! 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 And now over to Mara with the Liquid Echo audience.
We're here with Liquid Echo. I want to hear them. Are you entertained? All right, here we go. Let's go, Liquid. Let's go, Liquid. Let's go, Storm, what you got?
I think we can do better. I think Falcons are better with me. Let's go Falcons. AP.Bren. Let's go Falcons. 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 Mara, show me what you and Liquid got.
I think we can outshine you with Liquid Echo. All right, everybody. All right, all right, all right. Liquid. Liquid. One more time. Liquid. Pinaslang. 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 They're having a lot of fun right now, so how about we throw it to our panel? Time to shine.
Time to shine, and then look at that crowd, man. Like, it's a full house.
Let's go, Liquid.
Let's
Oh, they're
They're still
actually doing the same thing.
yeah, we're doing the same thing. But here's the thing: looking at the crowd, it's
I want
electrifying.
to join.
I really want to be there. I hope the studio. Maybe we can meet the studio there.
No, guys, we're working, okay?
Oh.
We're working.
I don't want to work.
I mean, especially after seeing those fans, yeah, I can definitely feel you. We can definitely understand.
Yeah.
But what an amazing atmosphere in MPL PH Season 14.
No.
No?
2.0.
Riyadh.
Oh, right.
This is MLBB Season 14 Pro.
Yeah. Honestly, for you guys at home, I wouldn't blame you guys if you guys thought it would be the Philippines, but still, again, that's how crazy the community is. But now we got to jump back and talk about the game because this is possibly the final match, well, the final game of this match. Falcons AP.Bren just needs one more win to drop Liquid Echo out of the competition.
We're here.
We're here. We're in the crowd. We got what we asked for, kind of.
Yeah.
It's good enough.
W Mans. But yeah, I mean,
Mans.
Liquid Echo, let's talk a little bit about how they can actually, take this game. Because it really feels like it all starts in the draft. They need to start putting the prio and maybe start to actually capitalize on some of these mistakes that are happening. If you want to try to stop Super Marco, it has to be in the laning phase. If you want to stop Few, it has to be in the drafting phase.
Yeah.
You need to try to take away some of these safe picks from Few and force that matchup to be more prio and, just give the favor over to Sanji.
Unfortunately, Arlott in the XP lane, as well as like a Baksha, your Akai, it's almost a thing of the past now, right? You can really feel the lack of damage, the scarcity of damage from the side of Team Liquid Echo. And this is not only game number 2, this was also evident in game number 1. Maybe a 4 protect 1 strat just can't work in the meta game that we have right now.
I got the pleasure to interview Carl Teasy in Sanford the other day, or a few days before, and I asked Carl Teasy what meta is his favorite. He told me M2. Back when he could play the assassin, so we need to channel Carl Teasy's M2 days if they want to stay in this tournament because match point.
Well, now we're in the draft. Team Liquid Echo is going to be blue side. Falcons AP.Bren is on the red side. The Ling, as well as the Turizla, has been banned out. Falcons AP.Bren, banning out a chip is a must. But looking at how the stage has been set up, Luyi is just an option.
Well, Valentin as well. I want to give that up. It's going to be Harith, probably a Roger. If this is a Roger ban from FCAP, that means CLPH will think between Luyi as well as Moskov, right?
Do they want to go for first pick Faramis if Falcons AP.Bren do go for the Roger ban?
You don't want to, because that means that Luyi can be picked up by the opposing end, which kind of deals with your shields. At the same time, that's 50-50 actually, because Faramis in a way conceptually is good versus Luyi because you kind of counter the teleports whatsoever to save your teammates. However, the light shields, extra shields is gonna be messing you up. So there is going to be the Luyi. So you go Moskov Edith if you're FCAP.
At this point, TLPH, do they... I mean, I don't know. I feel like in that draft, they just didn't have enough damage. So is this one of those situations where perhaps Carl will take a risk and maybe have a damage dealer?
I mean, that's definitely what I want to see, right? But
no,
looking at the Baksha, they go for the Yuzong, though, yeah. The Yuzong into the Arlott, that's great. That's right. If the Arlott actually does go XP, but they have a way to flex it. They also have a way to pick up the Edith. There's also a Minotaur that's still up for grabs. Great against this comp.
Yeah. In this case, you want to pick up your marksman now. Yeah, Moskov still, Moskov is available, but you don't want to pick it up against the Yuzhong. Maybe you just tank up. What else are gonna be big?
Go Claude and ban Moskov?
Yeah, it's actually a pretty nice answer, if that will ever be the answer. Or maybe you pick up the Lolita as soon as possible, but that exposes your Arlet. So there it is. Claude. Makes a lot of sense here. Blitz draft happening again from TLPH and FCAP.
Yeah, so I'm expecting them to ban the Moskov now, right? Knowing that the Claude is there, but
yeah,
because honestly, if Liquid Echo don't ban the Lolita, I don't think they really need to care about the Natan, the carry as well. Two good picks up against the Claude, but still, Lolita has so much more presence. We saw that just earlier, and we were talking about how Benny was really good on the carry either way, and it's kind of weird to see a carry still perform up against Lolita.
And right now, casters, are you guys watching the draft here? Because we got to talk about the Yuzhong as well. One of the top 3 heroes that actually has a low win rate. But what do you guys feel when Sanford has his hands on the Yuzhong?
Look, it's always good to see Sanford on something that he's comfortable with, but I think as of right now, TLPH, they need to go wild and crazy. They need to throw everything at FCAP right here, right now.
And they're off to a great start. Again, putting his signature hero on him, the human calculator, the Apex Predator, can actually be more than just a response to Liquid Echo's movements. He can actually start fights. That's what I'm looking for here.
Okay. I think with the Kaja, they have to ban, the Moskov over the carry.
Yeah, they're not scared of the carry because they have the Arlet, so that you can displace him as well as Julian.
They're not really tanky.
They're not really. Nathan is okay, but then again, that's like the backshot Nathan, which you don't have this combo because that's mainly magic. I believe FCAP will reveal their mid lane now.
Let's talk about JP as well. JP says he's looking forward to TLPH going out against FCAP because he doesn't care who else is on the other side. NIP Flash, SRG, doesn't matter because it's going to be either these 2 teams that's going to win MSC.
Ooh, that's some spice right there. The Lilia
Nathan Florin. This is Nathan Florin, I think, for TLPH.
That's so super scaling though, right?
Yeah, and at the same time, it's a Qatar lineup that we know that they are the only team that can actually...
Minotaur.
That they can actually play. But yeah, Minotaur. Also sustain.
So right now, looking at a draft here, Falcons, AP.Bren, casters, what do you guys think is going to be the last pick here? You guys feel like Julian going to be jungle again?
Novaria, Julian jungle.
I'm personally thinking that this could be a Julian jungle situation all over again, right? Strong team fight from TLPH, but the only problem is they don't have a disengage mechanic, but the same can be said about FCAP.
Yeah, I think you got to put a burst on few here so that the rest of the sustain is neutralized. Make these fights quick and dirty.
Or they could make it even longer. Maybe with a Faramis pick here for Few. Signature pick for him. They can try to bait out some of the resources, big ones from Liquid Echo, and then prolong that skirmish with the Edith, with the Claude,
How about
the Julian.
Okay.
All right.
Julian mid.
Bold.
Julian mid again, but again, we've seen it work. Now we have the Nolan. Nolan going up against the Baxia. Again, for our casters, I hope you guys are ready because this could be the final game of this match, or it could be the start of reverse sweep. With that being said, we're throwing it over to our casters.
A fight to remember between 2 combat masters. Be like water or sting like a bee. This is going to be a match for everybody to remember who is going to be the best and, as stated, to win it all at MSC.
Again, like true masters of the game, no one is shook, no one is panicking. They are just adjusting slightly the strategies to go for the best results possible. Victory.
Well, with that being said, match point currently for Falcons AP.Bren as we head into the land of Dawn. Spawn points have been set and players are moving out. It's going to be TLPH on blue side up against Falcons AP.Bren on the red.
I'm loving how still they remain quick and dirty with their lineup, even if we did get the whole Julian jungle wrong. They just sent him in mid, same amount of burst, and then put a Nolan in the jungle. Ooh. flicker out by few.
I mean, this is a similar situation to what we saw in game number 1. They get that early trade against Few to play in this mid lane, get an early battle spell, but all of a sudden they get punished, and maybe it's going to come through their jungle in Kyle TZ. With that being said, guys, starting on July 24th, it's the female pro players' time to shine. Catch the MLBB Women's Invitational 2024, where 12 teams from 11 regions break barriers and redefine esports.
Super Marco catches a few beads there. Oh no, Kyle TZ put down a 10th of his health. Carl TZ looking for him. The answer from Ogwin. JP topping up Carl. Again, this is very reminiscent of game number 2. In comes Ogwin. There's the knock up, looking for the kill. Benny Cutie draws first blood. Kyle TZ hunting. Finds a 1. That's JP down. Super Marco puts them all back through 1 for 1.
Man, I can't believe Few actually was capable of participating in that fight, and they got away with it as well, right? As for mention, you know, Kyle TZ, he makes things happen, he gets the kill. But at the same time, if Few was level 3, it could have been even cleaner, and yet he just teetered on the edge.
Let's look at the XP lane. Again, I'm expecting a lot to come from both Flap TZ and Sanford here. Flap TZ just allowing for this freeze to happen. Not so sure if he knows that Carl TZ is just around the corner. Turtle coming up in a few seconds from now. Real quick, a look at the emblems.
Based off of the emblems here, I'm rather surprised because Few is one of the few people that I would have imagined would like to have the lethal ignition. But now that he's in lane, it kind of changes the dynamic a little, right? Having the Impure Rage is actually not a bad idea, right? Especially when you can start chunking out some of the bigger members very, very slowly, but honestly consistent.
Oh, look at this duel up top, like Rock and Cena going at it. Oh no, down bottom, let's switch it up. Turtle already started the flicker in by Flap. No one home. Down goes Few. Sanford coming in. The Black Dragon form down to the Dragonoid. Flap looking to burst him down. Primordial Wrath already set in. Kyle TZ pushing them through. Down goes JP. Down goes Carl. Ogun finds him. Even 40's gonna fall. Marco finds him. 3 for 1 the trade. Falcons AP.Bren.
A good rotation from the side of Falcons AP.Bren. Honestly, really split on that fight. Benny QT is still going to be able to get entire gold plating in the meantime, so it's not the end of the world, but 3 to 4, baby. This is getting... Wait, hold up.
Benny did get a lot of bank there. I wonder if Ogwin's going to get away.
I mean, Flap's nearby.
Carl TZ, no one knocked up, and that's enough to help the disengage.
Yep, and here we go. The diversion's coming out, and Few might say no to this. Oh, they get out just in time, making sure that Carl TZ is catching up with tempo, especially against a hyper-mobile assassin like Kyle on a Nolan.
All right, Bakshi Unity is quick. Divergence faster.
Way faster.
He was going to get there anyways. So this is a small economic advantage for Falcons AP.Bren. And Carl TZ is going off of the momentum from game number 2. Honestly, he did well in the first maybe 2/3 of that game up until they were just starting to force fights. Now, they got their eyes on the prize. They're still maintaining their priority and rotating much faster than Falcons AP.Bren can respond. But man, Falcons AP.Bren just always know how to welcome Liquid Echo, even if they are man down.
Well, I think also because Falcons AP.Bren, they always listen. Everybody can technically be a shot caller, and more importantly, whoever has the lead should be the one they're playing around. I think that Falcons AP.Bren are listening to Kyle. Hey, I'm going to be ending up on this side of the map. Can we make anything happen by the time I get there?
And here, Carl TZ is caught out by Ogwin. Sanford comes through as well. The answer, the final slash. Ogwin down to a 10th of his health, flickering on back. That's a Black Dragon form spent by Sanford just to disengage. That's a turtle coming up in half a minute.
Yep, and that's also his Petrify as well, right? That's pretty big. No Black Dragon form, doesn't have the Petrify. By the time the next turtle spawns, he's not going to have many resources to really try to make things happen, right? So he's going to depend on JP's Minoan Fury to set things up. At the end of the day, right, Benny QT still needs plenty of time to scale, and
What? Minoan Fury used to disengage. Oh, it's just a close call.
It's a close call, but it's a huge win for Falcons AP.Bren.
Oh, blazing the wet by Super Marco right in Benny Cutie's face. Answered with the entropy. Super Marco overheating. Kyle TZ coming through, gets caught out. Benny Cutie goes down, taken out by Ogwin, but Kyle TZ falls as well. I don't think Ogwin's gonna survive this. No, sir. That will help him get through. Vengeance in, but Sanji gets a double kill. The mid lane genius. Another one off camera. What happened to Few?
I think he may have walked up too far and got punished, but then how did he die?
Where was the damage coming from?
I mean, Sanford killed him at the end of the day, right? And he didn't have his Petrify, like we mentioned, and doesn't have the Black Dragon form. Maybe he used the Black Dragon form. It's tough to say. At this point, we were too focused on the top side of the map.
At the drop of a hat, suddenly Liquid Echo have turned it on Falcons AP.Bren. They're up by 1,000 gold. They pushed up top and they took the second turtle. What happened?
Well, man, looks like it could have been a mistake from Fu's side. Hopefully we catch a replay of it later down the line. But for the time being, BennyQT, he's scaling up at a pretty, honestly, a decent rate compared to the first 2 games, right? He's got the Starlium Scythe. He already has second item Starlium Scythe, first item Feather of Heaven, and I think the rest of the team at this point in time are just slowly catching up. The important thing here is that Falcons AP.Bren, every time I call it, hey, no resources on Sanford, they got to target JP, instantly they attack JP.
Yeah, BennyQT's eating good, and I think you can do that calculation on the roamers, but as soon as the rest of Liquid Echo come in and crash through, in true Liquid Echo Express fashion, they just run through what's left of Falcons AP.Bren. So this is an interesting turn of events already. CarlTZ picking up the Brute Force Breastplate. Sanford sent down back bottom to clear the wave. And we are going to get to a pause real quick, try to figure out what's going on.
All right, let's see. Well, luckily we still have our marshals up on the stage ready to go and deal with these tech issues and help out these players as soon as possible. Don't worry, guys. We will get it done as fast as we can. In the meantime, it does give us a little bit of time to kind of like honestly deliberate on the way that they're playing, right? Because now we're seeing that TLPH, they're going down to, you know what, if we can't micro together as a team, let's break them apart and take them down individually, right? Maybe we can out-mechanic them 1v1.
Which is not how you want to face off against Liquid Echo. TLPH, I'd say maybe as a close second, the whole Marco Benny situation, they're all just mechanically ahead of their counterparts. So you don't want to go 1v1 with them.
I mean, they'll take honestly, they'll take the scraps, right? Give them a couple of pennies. Next thing you know, they've already made $1 million business off of it, right? It's just so easy to do when you're that talented. And I think it's really knowing the extent of that talent for the slight advantages. I give 1 penny to one side, 2 pennies to the other. Hey man, I ain't touching the guy with 2 pennies.
And that adds up. That adds up. So far in game 1 and 2, it's been clear who gets 2 pennies from Falcons AP.Bren. Now, after that turnaround, TLPH, CarlTZ has always been in the zone. CarlTZ has always been up front. But I like how all the other members of the cavalry are actually catching up.
I mean, they are catching up, but Carl, he's gone into that meditative state, and that's a scary thing to see, especially coming from the young GOAT. You don't know what else is in his mind. He could be playing out every situation possible. He could be thinking about, like, me as a jungler, what can I do to set up the best situation possible for our team?
Even deeper than that, me as the leader of this squad, me as the flag bearer of our team, of this beautiful esport. Like, there's a lot going on through CarlTZ's mind.
Man, honestly, I hope that he does have a Kit Kat one of these days, because he needs a break. You can definitely tell that the frontal lobe of his head is going to start swelling the more and more people put the pressure on him. But he's the GOAT, and that's why he can skull it and handle it.
And now I think we are back into the game. Once more, game number 3. Slight advantage over to Liquid Echo. Again, 1,000 and change between them. This is Falcons AP.Bren chance to regroup. They gotta make sure that whatever happened about 2 minutes ago should not happen again.
Let's look at the build so far, because right now CarlTZ is actually going for quite a greedy build with the Brute Force Breastplate. He wants to be able to kind of keep up with pace, but more importantly, getting in and out of these fights is going to help a lot when you have the extra movement speed.
Yep, looking at the build on Few right now. First up, the Genius one. So that is incremental advantage. The more you keep hitting, the more you deal more damage. And Falcons AP.Bren, I'm not so sure if they have the time to do that. With how fast Liquid Echo just, you know, at the drop of a dime, crash in. Oh, here's a push coming through. BennyQT gets in with the entropy. JP catches Few, dashing through with the flicker. Oh, Few's gonna die.
Okay, I mean, Few, he needed a couple more seconds, but now at the turtle, it's all up to Carl.
Oh, Turtle here at 1/10 of his health. CarlTZ secures. Down goes FlapTZ. Marco blazing duet away. Carl stopping him right in his tracks. Another entropy from Benny. Down goes Marco. 3-4-0. Never doubt him. Best in the world.
CarlTZ does not miss on these retributions.
Oh no.
And they're going to pull him over the finish line. They're going to pull and drag TLPH to get there. They pick up the kill on Ogwin, and now the momentum shift in the crowd. Listen to their screams.
The cavalry is alive. Make it a 4-for-1. Falcons AP.Bren left in shambles. CarlTZ, he knows what's coming. Sanji goes into that bush via diversion. And what does that mean for the economy? Look at this, the Holy Crystal. This is Benny QT's Trinity.
Yep, and that's why they're up on that Amazon stage. Benny QT is walking around like Jeff Bezos right now. He is packed.
It's the Amazon Arena.
Yep, it is the Amazon reason for a reason. But look at him. He doesn't even care.
They're still going. ChezyGaming from the flank. Flapteasy taken out. Sanford coming through. Can he stop Ogwin? The answer is yes. Down he goes. Another 2 free kills for the Cavalry.
I mean, this game is starting to spiral out of control.
Oh, can Kyle dash through? He's leaving these rifts, these fractures.
Oh, no.
There's a diversion up top in that bush. Can Sanji stop him? Kyle, where are you going? He's cornered.
They need some help, Carl. He's going to put him out of his misery. Where you going, buddy? Retreats him down to the ground.
That's the shot.
And that's the shot from Sanford. This has spiraled way out of control, but despite chasing all the time wasted and bought by Kyle, look at what Falcons AP.Bren have done. They've kind of reset that mid lane. They're coming down to clean up that bot side. Sure, take our tier 2, whatever, as long as you don't extend this lead further than this.
They're crawling. All this while Liquid Echo are galloping. For every inch Falcons AP move, Liquid Echo are a mile ahead. This is amazing. This is huge. I mean, yes, economically speaking, that's what, 3K, 4K? But look at the map get in.
Unironically, this is the biggest lead we've seen from Liquid Echo in a while.
In the whole series.
Yeah. Wait. Where's the TP going? Down to the bot side? Oh,
they go ahead and, phew. Ever the wily veteran puts up a huge wave there. I mean, this is plenty for Liquid Echo to deal with, but not like it's going to cost them much. Falcons AP.Bren, they're really struggling, but every little move counts.
I could see it. I could see the PTSD in Few. I remember during the final, same thing happened, right? They took the Lord. He's trying to push. He gets caught out and dies. He's not going to make that same mistake twice in such an important series.
And just as quickly, he switches up to the top after that recall. Tries to take care of as much of the wave as possible. This is an enhanced wave. Sanji clearing out the bushes. Sanford making sure that he can catch someone with a full combo hell, maybe even just a dash in with a petrify. They are gonna push in through tier 2 up top. That's a Holy Shield still standing. What is this? There's a fight here. Ogwin flickering on out. Okay, still alive. Oh, they're gonna deny Kyle Teasy his resources. What was Falcons doing? Why are they scattered? Why are they just shifting through the map?
It's just to disrupt tempo, right? Because Falcons AP.Bren, they're not farming in this point of time. They are chasing Few down. And if Few can waste even more time, it's better for them.
Oh, there's a dash, there's a flicker, and he's still running. He's using the Wilderness Blessing to its maximum. And the dash, he didn't even need to use the Cyclone. I mean, that's reverse psychology. I know you know that I'm not going to use it, so I'm not going to use it.
Exactly.
And he gets away!
Exactly. And now he's come to a point in the game, especially with his items, that his CDR is going to make sure that he's roughly around 7 seconds per ability. If not, if I'm correct, it should be around 8. We'll double check on the items in just a little bit. But because of these motions, it gives Falcons AP.Bren an opportunity to kind of open up the opposite side of the map. They're trading vertically, technically, in terms of land masses, right? Let's cut the map directly in the middle. There's bottom side and top side. And with what Few did, it opens up the top side.
Which is all the more amazing for a lineup such as Falcons AP.Bren's, because they don't have the low yi. They have to walk through everything. They have to take everything by land, the old-fashioned way. And here we go. We see it. It's 7.
It's 7. Thank you so much, observers. Now, as we get back into this game, Sky Piercer already purchased by Kyle Teasy. They're not going to let Benny QT stand and take the entire Primordial Wrath from Flapteasy again and survive.
We need to see Kyle Teasy step up, or at least have him get set up. I think that's what's lacking, but that's because Liquid Echo are doing so well to protect Sanji, to protect Benny Cutie. I didn't even notice Sanji is yet to suffer a death.
Yep, he's having a perfect game right now. I mean, considering that the previous game he basically got a bronze medal for that performance in KDA, now he's like, I'm making up for it. I better get MVP by the end of this.
And he's on his way, well on his way. He's got about 30 seconds off of this flicker, an extra layer of protection. There's a Lord spawning about 10. Flapteasy here, dueling with his TZ brother. Oh, JP coming up. Ogwin holding the line as well. It's paternal combat up in here. They're both holding on to their big ticket ults, but I don't think Falcons AP.Bren are ready to fight. They still need a little bit more farm. You're looking at a 5K gold lead for the Cavalry.
They're thinking about their children. They're thinking about their families back at home, how important it is to win this match. It's a huge chunk of money as Carl Teasy zones out Kyle.
Ogwin gets caught out. That's a lot of ult spent to catch one, but I'd say it's worth it. Falcons AP.Bren are a man down as Liquid Echo work on the Lord. A third of its health, a fifth, a 10th, and that's a secure for Benny Cutie.
Well done by Liquid Echo here. Really bouncing back hard against Falcons AP.Bren. This might just be a full comeback here because it looks like Liquid Echo are awake.
6K now, the gold lead for the Cavalry. Expected to grow a little bit more as soon as this Lord spawns. Liquid Echo will attempt a 3-lane synchronized push. That's going to give Falcons AP.Bren a lot to think about. And now in hindsight, Gideon, I got to say, Falcons AP.Bren from a scale of 1 to 10 on wave clear, they're barely a 6.
It's not the greatest in the world, and definitely, yes, it's not like it's impossible to clear a wave. No, that's not what we're saying. It's just very dangerous to do so. You got to put your body in the line of fire, and if you walk up too far, Sanford could jump on you, JP could jump on you.
Benny could blast you.
And we've seen how many times Benny has blasted people with a Natan at full build. Honestly, at 3 items is usually enough.
And now he's at more, and that's scary. 14 minutes in, all waves in sync. Carl TZ like a shark in the water, just looking around, circling through this mid-tier 2. Lord with an enhanced wave up top. Super Marcos, he's what we're talking about. It's so hard for them to defend, and they're going to lose this inhibitor, maybe another. And here's the Black Dragon form just for good measure.
They want to guarantee at least one inhibitor here. They've set themselves up pretty well. They've missed the checkmate angle, but they'll create as many advantages possible for the next upcoming Lord when it does show by. Let's see a mistake by Few here.
Oh, Few dodging that Unity. They are going to be successful in defending a mid inhibitor. Bottom lane as well. Falcons AP.Bren still breathing.
It's not bad other than the fact that the inhibitor that Falcons AP.Bren decided to sacrifice was on the top side, knowing that the Lord was spawning on the top side. So this is not the worst for Falcons AP.Bren. Could have been even more collateral damage. But let's take a look at the items, right? Because now we are seeing the dire hit coming out from the important members like Few. He wants to be able to have that extra bit of kick, but it's not really going to matter until this game starts dragging just a wee bit longer.
Oh, the DG, the Divine Glaive on Benny Cutie. Flap TZ's going to feel that. Ogwin's going to feel that. It's just going to sting a little bit more for the softies for Falcons AP.Bren, and that does confirm him on full build.
He's strong. He's really, really strong. But the same can be said about Super Marco, right? He's been scaling this entire time. And the only real advantage that Benny QT has is the fact that he can just press one button to dodge the Blazing Duet in that Winds of Nature. Same can be said about Nolan, but, you know, it's kind of pick and choose your poison.
Yep, I think Falcons AP.Bren have several layers of offensive capabilities to deal with, and for some you might say that's good, is because you have options, but no, if you're behind, that makes it all the more complicated for you to find a winning angle. Liquid Echo now up by about 8,000 gold here. That's 15 to 6 on the kill score. Lord spawning up in the upper quarter, and again, luckily that's the lane that Falcons AP.Bren have to protect, but I don't think that makes this Lord easier to steal away.
All right, let's find out, because Few's just going to show himself down on bot side.
Yep, and Liquid Echo's going to secure the Lord. Sanford's going to go ahead, land on his Dragonoid form. Kyle TZ looking for targets. No one home.
Oh,
That's the Wind of Nature. Popped up Benny Cutie.
Boys.
This is a clear go-to. Few looking for the back door. The Minoan Fury coming through. The fight continues. They send Sanji home. Kyle TZ's down. Benny Cutie gets the kill. Few gets the push in. They're not letting him go home. That's a triple for Benny Cutie. And I think Few's going to lose his fight. Can Sanji get him? One more blast. There's the dance. And Sanji wins against Idol ng mga kids. And that's a wipeout. Falcons AP.Bren are off the map. Liquid Echo on the board.
And now they're cracking up the base. They've turned it around. Oh my goodness. The cavalry finally arrived. Do you hear the rumbling of the Liquid Stampede? What a game.
All it took was one moment in the tail end of the early game, and suddenly Falcons AP.Bren could only look for these off angles, these split pushes. As long as it's a full frontal fight, they couldn't face Liquid Echo.
I think they just knew. They knew if they got the Lord, it's game over. Right now, we're in too deep. That backdoor has to work. We'll do anything to make it work. Just cancel the recalls. And you can see the split-second decision from TLPH. They drop down the diversion, and then they realize, wait, what's going on? The backdoor is happening.
True to the visual image of a cavalry, you really can't stop a horse galloping at full speed.
With that being said, break down for us, analysts, what happened this game?
First of all, the sweep has been denied. And if we're going to talk about the game, we got to start from the draft. Mirko, what do you think about the draft?
I think it was phenomenal by Liquid Echo, right? We were talking about a lot of the problems coming in from the draft itself. The fact that the box shot was left open, Carl TZ is already on a comfort pick. Then they forced Few on a mechanical hero, but I feel like that was on Falcons AP.Bren. They were the ones to force out the Nolan. That would have been another option to go for a mid laner, another safe one like the Feramis we mentioned, but the fact that they did put Few on a mechanical hero, they put Marco on a gold lane that isn't, you know, fully a winning matchup, unlike the first 2 games. So all this was just working for Liquid Echo together for them to get this game.
You can see that the Nolan plus the Claude is a very greedy pickup, you know? And then if you think about it, Julian as well, in the mid lane, it's not like a Farsa that can actually clear out the waves easily and is not dependent items. Julian is actually very item dependent, and then if you factor in both the Claude as well as the Nathan, that's a lot of farm that they needed to really compensate with. And to be fair, TLPH, I believe that they're the only team that can actually pull off the backshot plus the Nathan. And then you have it's like literally full magic damage. And mainly it's because of Sanford. Sanford was so on point all throughout this game, as well as Sanji. I think is this game in particular, the Sansa duo woke up, I guess, and they're, again, exceeding expectations.
I think they've just been enabled in the draft, really, because I think all the way from game number 1, we were seeing all these mechanical plays happening around the map, and they were just able to adjust in time for game number 3, where they were the ones forcing out these 1v1s, forcing out these individual battles, like the casters even said, to get the advantage and ultimately take the game.
I would say from the beginning, it's all about Sanford chasing after Few.
Yes, sir.
Right? Remember the first kill down bot, Sanford got a 1v1, and then after that we see every time Few wants to clear the lane, Sanford's there. So immediately Sanford just makes the whole situations like, you're not going to be a part of a team fight up until even the Lloyd dances. Few was never there.
This just reminds me of the MPLPH Grand Finals. Yu Zhang was almost always banned out by Falcons AP.Bren. Now I think they have to deal with it.
They really have to deal with it. I believe that Yu Zhang is tricky because it's also it is a traditionally a marksman killer, but it's also an assassin killer just because of the access to the Petrify. Once you don't have your dashes anymore, specifically for like a Nolan, Nathan, the Nolan without the Purify or anything because you're locked into a Retribution. Once you utilize all of your dashes, you're now always in an awkward spot. Yeah, surely you will not have a contact with the Yu Zhang, will try to avoid it. But the fact that you're not in the fight just because you're scared the dragon might pounce on you, that's already a massive factor in the team fights.
And it's already very interesting because, you know, when we're talking about the statistics, Yu Zhang hasn't really been hasn't been a big power hero for MSC. It's been picked up a lot, but win rate wise, it's not doing too good. Just goes to show you the level of skill you need to have to be able to pull this off up against those assassins in a game like this. Match point for Falcons AP.Bren, and Liquid Echo played like there was no pressure.
I mean, speaking of which, we got to look at our Sony MVP, and it's going over to Sanji, still showing how strong this Luyi pick really is. And let's talk about the macro play as well. Team Liquid Echo utilizing the diversion to make sure that anywhere they go, they move as a team to the point where Falcons AP.Bren, they're the one that has to be, you know, split up.
I think that this is definitely a better performance coming out from Sanji with the Luyi. From the previous game, it wasn't that effective, but this time, he's actually landing the double vacuum or the yin-yang reaction. But yeah, but just call it the double vacuum this time, and then it was pretty much on point. I think the only time that he actually missed was when they were chasing Few, but overall, all of his rotations were good. Look at that diversion play, bringing in the rest of the squad. Benny Cutie magically survives long enough for the entirety of the squad to punish up top. And even though Benny Cutie died that moment, he was able to clear the waves anyways, and he got a kill onto Super Marco. So I think all is good for Benny Cutie despite the death.
So we can see definitely, right, that weakness.
This double vacuum.
Super Marco has to be in the laning phase. You want to try to deal with them as much as you can in the laning phase, shut them down, and when you get into these team fights, you're going to have a relatively safer time, especially here for the Luyi, because in game number 1 against the Ling, in game number 2, it was a lot harder to connect on some of these heroes because it was just a standard composition from Falcons AP.Bren. Game number 3, they picked 2 assassins, 2 melee heroes that need to walk up against the Luyi. Yeah, double vacuum all the time, bro.
I mean, here's the thing. We talk about how amazing the matches are, but we got to talk about how amazing the audience is. So we're actually going to throw it over to Wheezy, where I believe is with TLPH's crowd.
Wheeze.
All right, guys, we are here
courtside with the fans of Liquid Echo. You hear them going wild. My name is Weezy, and I am joined by Hans and GG. How do you guys feel being here in the audience?
Okay, I'm translate it for her. Or do you want to speak in Tagalog or just English?
Tagalog!
Okay, I'm translate it for you. Kamusta daw yung pakiramdam mo ngayon?
Sobrang kinakabahan na masaya na kaya namin to.
All right, mixed emotions. She's nervous, but she's happy, and she's also confident that they can win. Liquid Echo can win.
Echo loud and proud. Well, you know what? We're in the crowd, and I think Echo needs a little bit of a boost to get this game and even out the series. Why don't we get a chant from the audience?
All right. Guys, kailangan tulong nyo! Let's go Liquid! 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 Let's go Liquid!
And there you have it, Echo loud and Echo proud. Good luck on your matches. The most explosive series yet in MSC 2024.
Thank you very much, Weezy. We're looking at the crowd, and they are ecstatic. With that being said, both teams need to prepare, so we're going for a short break to give them time to think about the next match. So with that, we'll see you guys right after this. And we're back. As you guys are watching the Amazon Arena, we are about to enter our fourth game of this best of 3 matchup, best of 5 matchup. And again, the score right now is 2-1. CLB it kind of solves the issue where, okay, we might not have enough damage. Like, give Sanford the Yuzong again and ban out the Terizla.
Yeah, and Benny getting his hands on the Natan. Banning out the Lolita was amazing, by the way, right? Because they already banned out the Kaja. You know it was going to come around again. If they didn't ban the Lolita, it would have been another Lolita pick to counter either the Natan or the carry. So great picks overall from the side of TLPH, those adjustments.
Good adjustments, obviously, but I still wish that there will be a time where it is going to be Assassin for Mr. Carl Cheesy. However, if they feel that it will not work, then I will have to be content of this Baxia that's picked up by Team Liquid Echo.
I think the next time Baxia is banned out, they're going to be forced to go for an Assassin, right? Because we know how the Akai played out in game number 1. Yeah. That was one of the faster games of the series so far in the 3 games that we've had. So I don't think they are too keen of getting the Akai back in their hands again. But for Falcons AP.Bren, I think they are very happy if that's the strategy that TLPH have. I think for Falcons AP.Bren, that's the adjustment that they want to make on blue side this time.
Yeah. Sanford, stellar performance with the Yuzong. I believe that there's a lot of focus in the XP lane right now, especially because Terizla is pretty much OP. I think Arlet is a big contention between these two teams, but I feel like Arlet might not be the best hero to pick.
No, I agree.
Side lane.
I agree.
Agreed.
It feels like it really has fallen off.
Arlet is an amazing hero, especially given to the right pilot, right? Like, we've seen many people using the Arlet, not really all that great, but like, when you're fighting against someone at the same level, the Arlet, I feel like you can fight against it. So as strong as a hero as it is, it's not like super OP. It's not like S-tier when we're just talking about these two teams in general, you know?
And it was great because in game number 3 earlier in the draft, it was the Arlet pick from Falcons AP.Bren, and then you see the Yuzong. So I would say Arlet is good, but you cannot pick it up first before, ban out the Yuzong. Because once the Yuzong gets picked, it's either you will get dumpstered in lane, or you give it over to Rome. Yeah. And that's what they did. They put it on Ogwen. Still, Arlet Rome, it just kind of lost a lot of the strength it had.
I feel like Arlet Rome is great because if you really want to make sure that you win by, 8 minutes, 9 minutes, because the tempo they can give you because of the extra damage is amazing. But the moment you don't win the early, the moment you don't win mid,
make it or break it.
Then the Arlet is like, well, I'll sweep them.
I guess.
But now we're jumping into the draft here. Falcons AP.Bren is going to be blue side. TLPH is going to be on the red side. The bans here. Falcon AP.Bren not wanting to see the Baxia as well as the Valentina. TLPH says no to the chip as well as the link.
Okay, so there should be a Louis ban here for TLPH afterwards. Unless they do want to secure the Roger, which I think FCAP will just pick up first anyways. So maybe, actually, this could be them letting go of the Louis. Interesting for TLPH. FCAP, their bans will be Valentina, Baxia. I forgot what they banned. Well, they did have to ban the chip, so that's probably why. Oh, they themselves banned the chip. Okay, so definitely this is a race for Harith and Roger. So I wonder if TLPH, maybe they just open both and ban Terizla, maybe?
Yeah. I think they have to make a decision here, whether it be the Terizla or the Roger, but based on the performances, the fact that they want to play for Benny in the weak side more means that the Terizla has a bit more prio. They can play for Benny in the weak side, play for Sanford to get the winning matchup by banning the Terizla. You really need to enable Sanford in the XP lane. We saw in the previous game also, but Wolf, this is concerning for me at least. If we do get a Game 5, this Loyi ban in the first phase, it basically shows to Echo that maybe Few isn't really too comfortable on that pick.
Roger
for FCAP, and then for TLPH, it's just Terizla Moskov.
Yeah.
That's the idea that they want to go for. Unless they want to go back to game number 1, whether it is Edith Moskov. I believe that the Terizla Moskov works better. Especially, or who? Actually, no, they will go Yuzong and Yuzong Moskov for TLPH. Oh, no, they will Terizla.
Yeah.
Okay.
Terizla a bit safer. I think it's all about, it's not about getting the winning matchup, especially for the Terizla, right?
Yeah.
I think if the Terizla was banned out in the first phase, yes, it's all about getting the winning matchup for Sanford. But now that the Terizla is open, it's about denying it away from Flap 2.
What about setting up for Flap on his X-Borg?
Oh, what do you think about the X-Borg? Because for some reason, we really haven't seen that much X-Borg, huh?
I would say now that the far side here is a little bit difficult for the X-Borg to pick up.
Yeah.
I mean, like, we got to talk about how X-Borg is one of Flap's best heroes. right? And I feel like it's going to be good against the Charizard, but having a burst mage kind of makes it difficult.
Yeah. They pick up the Julian again for F-Cup. That was proven to be successful in the first game when going up against the Farsa. It's also a flex pick. And then they couple it up with Edith for F-Cap. Not only do they deny that Edith away from TLPH, they also give a big combo with the Julian, if ever. So I'm thinking Edith Julian here for F-Cap if we're following the script.
Okay, that's the Julian pick. Another flex pick in the arsenal of Falcons AP.Bren. If they go for the Edith, it's going to be triple flex, but they go for the Minotaur. A safe choice. Master Ogwin, or apparently Nice who tells me now, I don't know if he's trolling me, but it's Daddy Ogwin now?
Daddy Ogwin, yeah, that's true. Nathan immediately coming up from TLPH.
But they don't get a pick for Carl Teasy in the first phase. Based on the first 3 games, it's always a Carl Teasy pick in the first phase. Now it gives the opportunity back to Falcons AP.Bren to deny more of these picks away.
Deny the Quinivir, actually.
Yeah.
Let go of the Akai. You're prepared for it. F-Cap.
They want the Akai.
They buy a Kaja. Understandably so. Nathan Kaja is also as strong as a carry Kaja, even better range, so understandable they went for that one.
Yeah. Right now, honestly, for our casters, looking at the 3 picks coming in from Falcons AP.Bren as well as TLPH, who do you guys think has the better opener here?
In terms of opener, I have to say, I do kind of like TLPH. I think it's pretty 50-50 so far because, again, a lot of the weight is being held in the second half.
I'm going to have to echo what Mirko said, and it's very uncanny that you see Carl Teasy let himself through to the second phase. I think this should be an attack angle for F-Cap.
Is this an assassin possibility? I don't know. What about you guys?
Are they forcing him there?
Could be.
Yeah, for that reason, I feel like Falcons AP.Bren, they kind of have the advantage here coming into the second phase. TLPH, no Ling, that's a problem. No Julian as well, no Bakshis. So, and even Hayabusa gets banned out. So, really, he might have to go back to M2. The Lancelot?
Wow. I think
M2 the Brody?
Oh, Brody. Yeah. That's a throwback. They go back to the guy. Understandable. Okay, so if you're F-Cap, I think you put the Julian in your...
I mean, casters, do you guys prefer this Julian mid or jungle?
I'm thinking Julian jungle here.
Yeah.
Same. The last couple of times, Feud definitely forces the team to play in a certain way. It's about wave clear, but most importantly, it's about priority. Moving first is so important.
They gotta keep switching it up. They gotta keep switching it up.
Yeah, Julian jungle, then Eve. Pick up the Eve if you're F-Cap. You've proven that you can utilize that and then close it out with the Yuzhong or Arlott in this case.
I mean, at this point, I agree with you, right? The Eve definitely fits in, but I don't know, with all the dive here,
of
they're going to go for the Faramis.
Missed that.
The problem with the Faramis, I would say, has got to be the Akai.
Yeah, this is Edith for TLPH, right? Pixano says first the Faramis. You clear it out easily.
Yeah.
Apart from that...
The Edith seems too perfect to be true.
Yeah, it's really good. I guess Matilda might be another option here. Because you want to save your teammates. Good combo with the... There you go.
Yeah. There we go, Matilda. Right now, we see Falcons AP.Bren going up against TLPH. If TLPH wins this one, we're going for a Game 5. And with that, thank you very much to both our analysts, Mirko as well as Wolf. Leo and Gideon, it's your turn.
Thanks so much, LaFell. This is going to be a wild one because when looking at both of these comps, they're depending on magic damage, right? So, if you're TLPH, they gotta get wild, they gotta get crazy, they gotta bring out the Florida man strats like Trex and Wheezy.
And don't forget Nice, we also grew up for a good chunk of time in Florida. We're going into game number 4, folks. Just a quick reminder, game 3, Liquid Echo turned the game on its head, like from out of nowhere. But just the same, it's still F-Cap at match point. So we'll see exactly what brings us here to the Land of Dawn for this 4th game in this match.
Stakes are really high here in game at number 4, and even from the drafting, a lot of gambling, a lot of gambiting even, back and forth between the trades of these heroes as we see Falcons AP.Bren on the blue side up against Liquid Echo on the red.
Talking about risky decisions that you don't know if it'll pay off, if it'll be something that bites you in the butt, but early on, look at this. They're about to send Sanji back home. He's holding his ground, man. Look at this.
Yeah, I think he's going to get denied here, unfortunately, because we are seeing that JP is hovering towards the top side of the map to make sure that Benny QT can actually survive this laning stage for as long as possible. Oh, great stuff. Even JP just blocking the skill shot with his body. Nicely done.
That's a quick score up top for TLPH. Kyle Teasy checking in on the small camp. Going to be pushing out JP. This is dangerous. Again, a Roger and a Julian at level 3 and level 2. Those are fully built heroes, kit-wise.
But at least for TLPH, they're not making the same mistake that they did in the earlier stages, right? Hit level 3 and now you're in some trouble. But for the most part, I do think that from Falcons AP.Bren side, Flapteezy, we need to see him make a super play at some point. Because if he catches both Sanji and Benny QT in a single final slash, that could just be game over.
By the way, folks, this is his finals MVP hero from Season 12 when they won that championship at the EVM Convention Center in Manila in the last quarter of 2023. So this is a very monumental hero for FCAP. Liquid Echo, on the other hand, a lot of comfort in them as well. Again, Carl Teasy getting that Akai, even if we were hoping that maybe he would get his hands on an assassin. This is just Liquid Echo just putting their foot on the ground saying, you know, this is how we play.
And honestly, I think that Falcons AP.Bren's composition, like, if we had to play this, simulate this 2 drafts 10 times, I think that 9 out of 10 times Falcons AP.Bren should technically come out on top, right? And my reason being is that it's just easier to pull off. Like, Liquid Echo have to get really creative with the way that they rotate and as well as work with some of the interactions.
Oh no, they find JP, forcing him to flicker into that bush as the turtle stands. Oh, nice Minnow and Fury, but Ogun goes down. Carl Teasy gets him, and they're going. He's spinning. There's another round. They dash in. It's a deeper fight now as Kyle Teasy gets stunned. They're moving through. Kyle Teasy, oh, he's just living on a prayer. Sanford takes him down. Oh, all the bodies dropping for Falcons AP.Bren. Still no revenge kills for Falcons AP.Bren. And 40. The Apex Predator. He's unstoppable. He keeps going, ends up with a double.
He does it twice. He lands these executions every single time. Man does not miss. But honestly, at this point of time, it's great start for Liquid Echo. Let's look at this replay one more time, because honestly, when you do see Few drop down with the Netherrealm, that technically should have given an opportunity for the rest of FCAP to actually pull away. But I think they were getting a little confident that they could make something happen here and maybe trigger the Demonic Mark a couple more times so that Flapteezy to clean up that fight.
They overheated the bursters, and here we go, another go at the turtle. At a third of its health, there's a big Minnow and Fury, keeping them at bay. Carl Teasy falls, Flap gets it, Kyle gets a turtle, Sanford falls. Finally, Falcons AP.Bren back on the board here in game number 4.
And they find their reply almost straight away. Look at them running to the top side of the map, knowing exactly what Carl Teasy's farm is looking like. They can't go any further here because at any moment there could be some reinforcements from the help of JP.
All this while, Gold Lane was an island. It was Penny Cutie and Super Marco just going mano-a-mano. And yeah, JP will go ahead and give it a visit. Down bottom, you see Flapteezy with the fight. A replay brought to us by STC.
Oh, look at that. I mean, really well-timed stuff here. Like, Kyle, he goes in utilizing the enhanced swords' iframes to close the distance without getting CC'd. I will say at the very least that, you know, Flap, he's quick on the call. He is listening to everything that is going on. And if he can try to time it right, he could maybe stop Carl Teasy for even getting the retribution off.
Compared to game number 3, I think Falcons AP.Bren are comfortable now in the best way possible. Maybe they let it slip in the previous bout, but here this time around, I think they're eagle-eyed, falcon-eyed, if I may. There's a minute left until the next turtle spawns. Marco, again, showing exactly why the Rogers favored in most lineups in the gold lane. And that's Ogun catching a good amount of beads. Oh no, that's Ogun very low, flickering on out. That's so many thrown at Ogun. He falls. Few finds Carl Teasy. He's too late to save his roamer.
Yep, great coverage here. Great coverage here for the size of Falcons AP.Bren. And the fact that they're purposefully delaying the position, revealing their positions. They're like, okay, Sanji, release the Feathered Airstrike now. Benny QT and JP start walking up. Carl, just sit in the bush for a couple of seconds and then walk out. So therefore, it's wasting Falcon AP.Bren's time, right? Oh, maybe he's not there. Maybe we can walk up mid. Suddenly 4 people show up. Oh, shucks. We can't do it anymore.
It's the delayed release. It's a limited drop culture. There's a shirt, there are shoes, there are pants. Oh no, I need the whole set. Now there's a fight breaking out up top. Sanji with the Feathered Airstrike, a few volleys dropping. No one home for the final slash. Flapteezy, Vengeance 1, Vengeance 2. JP at half health, throwing a few wisps over to Flapteezy's way. Few dueling with Sanford. Benny Cutie with the Entropy. and they let go. They disperse. All right, neither team willing to commit.
I like this. I like this more because Sanford still has that penalty zone, and anytime they could trigger it and they don't mind. Wait, hold on, it's gonna escalate.
Final slash back online. Minoan Fury coming in, big knockup. Kaltizi very low. Kaltizi secures it. Flaptizi gets the kill. Sanford flickering on out. Netherrealm already spent through. JP flickering on out. Flaptizi tracking with that vengeance. Kaltizi with the enhanced chains. And are they gonna back off? Benny Cutie with a defensive entropy. Just a few fires, a volley of basics just to push him back. That's a tier 1 pushed in mid for Falcons AP.Bren.
A huge win for Falcons AP.Bren. Opening up mid-tier 1 is going to open up entire access to the jungle's top and bottom side of this map. Let's quickly look at the items, right? We do see the Blood Winnings purchase coming in specifically from Sanji. That's going to keep him alive for now. But at the same time, we've seen that just with the Genius Wand alone from Kyle Teasy is enough to actually create a one-shot angle, or at least chunk him down to that Super Marco can guarantee the kill.
Whoa. Final slash on the Carl Teasy. Everything but the kitchen sink thrown at the GOAT. Can he survive? Flap takes down his Teasy, bro!
That's unfortunate. That's real unfortunate. It looks like Falcons AP.Bren now looking at the weak link, and it might just be Carl Teasy here because JP, he's not covering him.
Oh, God.
He's fine. He's fine.
You could have gotten me confused between Flap and Kyle because Flap is acting like an assassin right now.
He's dangerous, and not to mention that Fuel. He's cutting corners.
They're still going. The Minoan Fury knocking them up. JP's going down. Benny Cutie first. That's a double kill for Kyle.
That's insane. What a great play coming in from Falcons AP.Bren. They turned into turbo mode this time. Find the punish, extended, stretch him out like dough, just like in game 1 and game 2. Let's look at the replay because you can see, right? Oh, Benny, quickly. Oh, I got hit by everything. Purify. Kyle shows up. He's like, nah, nobody's getting out of this one.
Just like how TLPH started in the early game with the delayed entry, again, the limited drop culture, they're also doing it here, but they're also integrating the extended box principle. They constantly move their box, mainly because of JP with the guiding winds, but after that, everything solved. Bub's your uncle. They have enough CC, enough reliable damage, and damage coverage. Yes, there's a lot of magic damage from both sides, but let's not forget Super Marco's here. Even Flap deals a good amount of damage with the Thunderbelt.
Exactly, and that's why he's so dangerous, right? That's why this team continuously, look at them, they're chunking out Sanford. They got his flicker.
Final slash displacing the Terizla, and there's Sanji coming in. Heavy spin, forcing out another realm. Kaldizi very low, put up against the corner. Sanford, can his BOS keep him alive? There's a vengeance, there's a dash. JP barely alive, down goes Sanford. Oh, down goes JP as well, 2 kills. Flaptizi forcing out an entropy. Can he take down Benny? The answer is yes. Boom!
The Filipino cannon strikes again, allowing a double kill for his boy Few. This game, high octane action here. We got to bring it back a little bit because the energy is high and the crowd is going wild. But Falcons AP.Bren, cool as a cucumber.
If we want to throw it back to M2, you can't do it without bringing Few and Flap TZ and Coach Ducky into the equation. So if it's Carl TZ zoning in, going back to Singapore, you can't do that without bringing Flap, Few, and Ducky into the story. They also won that championship. They also played out of their minds, and now they're doing the same. That's a almost 8K gold lead here at 9 minutes.
It's wild. It's wild. This could be it. Falcons AP.Bren can close it out quickly on Liquid Echo on that next Lord push, but for now, it's about how much damage can they apply, because Liquid Echo, they still need a lot of scaling. We're not seeing Holy Crystals being purchased just yet, and until that point, Falcons AP.Bren might be a step ahead with the Athena shields already.
I'll say 2 steps ahead. Carl DZ picks up his own, and there is a synchronized wave in mid and up top. Holy Shield still online for Nevermind. It gets popped by that cart, and there's Sanji with a defensive, a feathered airstrike, and there's the entropy. Can they punish Falcons AP.Bren? Can they deny the inhibitor push? They're doing their best. Heavy spin, Few gets popped. Down goes Carl TZ. They do save the turret. Mid still standing. Another wave up top. Falcons AP.Bren relentless.
Absolutely relentless, and more importantly, they're able to hold this high ground defense for a little bit long. Oh!
They go in, and a Minoan Fury knocks him out, plus the chains, plus Flap vengeance on Sanford. That's it. Call it. Falcons AP.Bren are moving on through the grand finals.
GG, well played. It's Falcons AP.Bren BRen in a successful 3-1 match to end this PO5 and representing PH in the grand finals.
This is straight up Reigns and Rhodes back in Manila. It was Liquid Echo who got FCAP's number, but not like in XL, not like in Philly. This is storytelling at its finest. The turn, the plot thickens, FCAP moves forth.
Look at that. Falcons AP.Bren cheering, getting the crowd into the mix. This is what it looks like to be in the audience with these idols, making sure that, yes, we did win, but at the same time, we know what it's like to be on top.
The Cavalry stand tall, they stand defeated, but they are still one of the strongest teams in the world. Today, Falcons AP.Bren was the better team.
They've done everything that they could at this point. Absolutely everything. But unfortunately, there can only be one winner in these best of fives. You can see the sportsmanship, each one of them making sure, giving their hugs, their prayers to their brethren, telling them, hey, that next stage, you guys better bring it home to PH.
The deep cut between Coach Treb, congratulating and thanking his former teammates. That's a moment.
Honestly, knives can only be just as sharp, especially when they're clashing against each other. They just get sharper and sharper. These teams grow exponentially in such a short period of time. It makes this, honestly, it makes this BO5 so unique.
Not to mention Falcons Esports. Team Falcons. This is going to put them even further in the club championship rankings.
I wasn't even thinking about that. Oh my goodness. With that being said, man, this has been an absolutely wonderful game, a beautiful game from both of our Filipino world champion title holders. And that being said, we're going to be throwing it over to the stage to get an interview with somebody. I'm not entirely sure who, but, well, let's find out with Mara Aquino and as well as the Wood Sandstorm. Please, to the Amazon stage, take it away.
Ladies and gentlemen, in the Amazon Arena, make some noise for Falcons AP.Bren! And welcome few of the champion team here today.
Congratulations, Few. You are heading to the grand finals. You are ahead of the GOAT race, greatest of all time. You're one best of 7 away from claiming the MSC 2024 trophy. What does this win today mean for you?
Sobrang saya nung panalo namin ngayon kasi nakabawi na kami sa Liquid Echo eh. Kasi binugbog nila kami nung MPLPH eh. Tapos ngayon sobrang saya namin na nakabawi na kami sa kanila. Parang nawalan kami ng tinik.
He's saying that they're really, really happy right now that they're able to exact revenge against Liquid Echo. And they were really excited because it's like they got taken out, a thorn got taken out of their throat. Congratulations.
Yes, congratulations after that performance. And now you're headed to the grand finals. You're either facing NIP of Flash or the Selangor Red Giants, both of which have Filipino players. Who would you rather face in the grand finals?
Ang gusto namin makalaban sa grand finals is yung SRG. Kasi sobrang lakas talaga nila ngayon no doubt talaga na nag-improve yung Malaysian team na yun.
They want to face Selangor Red Giants because they're really strong right now, and he acknowledges that they've improved so much. The Malaysian team is on top right now.
Yeah, that they are after their performance. Insane, Mara.
And now, with our ritual, you defeated Liquid Echo. Carl TZ, you may now proceed to hand over the key. Both teams have been dominating MSC 2024. But today, Falcons AP.Bren has come out on top. Now you're holding this key. Tell us what you're feeling right now.
Sobrang saya kasi babasagin na namin mamaya ito.
He's really happy because later on they will get to crush their opponent's key.
I mean, that's going to be one heck of a feeling. Congratulations again, Few. And now, I want to give you this opportunity. Is there anything that you want to say to the fans here in the standings and all the fans supporting you, watching you guys at home?
Sobrang laking pasasalamat namin sa lahat ng fans. Feel na feel namin na parang hometown na natin to. Tapos Pati na rin sa Liquid Echo na fans, sobrang hype, sobrang ganda ng pag-cheer lahat.
He's thanking all the fans right now because he feels like they're here in their hometown. He's also thanking the fans of Liquid Echo being so hype. So thank you all. One more time. Falcons! Ikaw naman, pa-cheer mo sila ng AP.Bren. Falcons!
AP.Bren!
Congratulations. We're gonna break that down for you, so we're gonna head on over to our panel.
Honestly, like, this matchup is incredible. At least it wasn't a sweep, right? TLPH was able to get 1 point, so Falcon AP.Bren, they can't say they went through MSC without a single game loss.
Yeah, it's no longer, the full win streak in games, but it almost seems like when they picked that Akai pick, I kind of knew already. It was... You can see the level diff every single time. It's just game one all over again.
Yeah, two extremities here. For example, the Akai that in the first turtle was okay. It was, but it looks like
as it should.
It works as it should, but unfortunately, going 1-3-1 at 7 minutes, that's a capital sin for any utility jungler, particularly this Akai. Very difficult to recover. It was level 7 when the Kaltizi was level 13. So that's very concerning. Level 9, I mean. Level 9, Kaltizi, Akai, level 13. Julian coming up from Kaltizi, that's not gonna fare well. And then the opposite end of the coin, FlapTZ was monstrous. The moment that we said that Arlet in the XP lane is kind of underwhelming.
We caster cursed it.
He absolutely shred everyone and was always able to find Benecute back-to-back without the Purify. Also had enough damage to take him out. I think this is one of Flap's greatest performances as well.
We should really give services towards the teams. Like, if there's any pick that you want to pick, if there's any teams you want to see them lose, just let us know and we'll support them. Right? Or not support them so that they can be good, right?
Hopefully that's the case for us, right? We got a lot of bargaining power here.
We got a lot of
especially after
power.
that game, but
you know what? For me, the most important, this is actually the most impressive part.
You're so handsome, you're so good.
Definitely not bye-bye.
As great as all the highlights was, I'm more impressed that he can do that and not fall.
Actually,
yeah,
dude.
Yes. I was so impressed.
That was impressive.
He jumped. He's not just standing.
Exactly.
He's jumping and he's not falling down. Those chairs, like, whoa.
He's a Falcon.
That's why he can
He's
fly.
roosting.
No.
He's roosting.
Marco, are they Falcons or are they bees?
They are Falcon bees.
They're beacons.
Or they're bee falcons.
They're beacons.
They're Falcons. No, you know what? We'll stop at that. But I do want to talk about how the conditions were met. We were talking about how the Arlet pick could still work in the XP. I personally don't like the roam position because, like you said, also LaFell, it's make it or break it. You either win the game or you lose.
Either you're amazing or you're chocolate.
Exactly. There's no in between. But in the XP, as long as you actually don't give over a good matchup to the opposing team, the fact that they left the Terizla open and they picked the Terizla, it gave the Arlet the proper condition to not get bullied in lane. I mean, it's still a lane bully, but not as much as someone like a Yuzong.
It's like you're getting bullied, but you get to keep your lunch money.
Yeah, exactly.
Right,
there are bullies who take your lunch money, give you a wedgie. There are also bullies that just give you a wedgie. That's the
I'm happy that I did not experience that, but nevertheless, having the Terizla as a sustained EXP laner usually is comboed up with a very active jungler. For example, Akai unfortunately does not fit the bill. Cannot stop moulding about this Akai, but it's really not a Carl TZ. I think in this particular situation, knowing full well that the Julian can easily be flexed, I think that they fell into that trap. Maybe Akai versus Ling, it could have worked. But against the Julia, there's just so much frontal damage that you saw whenever a Kyle TZ shows himself, everybody from Falcons AP.Bren just, rains down on this Akai. They just give up their spell, they nuke him down, even, forcing the heavy spin. And once that's done, already the Akai pick is nullified.
I mean, we got to talk about how important the jungle position is, because I feel like we've hinted at it throughout the day, but it's more of a podcast kind of topic where the jungler right now is more of position 1. They're the cores. They're the one that's going to transition into a better state of the game. And having a tank jungler in this kind of meta, it works. I'm not saying it doesn't work. It definitely does work. But again, the other team that has a better jungler in terms of the heroes, I mean, you're going to be left
For sure. I think the only utility jungle that can actually work right now has got to be the Boxia. Just because of the clear speed alone, you're able to actually match a lot of the assassins. But when you're placed on the Akai, the main problem for the Akai, even in the utility meta, was the fact that the Fredrins clear faster, the Boxias clear faster, the Barats absolutely smashes you when it comes to clear. So imagine now in the assassin meta going for the Akai and not going for someone else in the XP that can deal that damage, that can actually cover the weakness point of the Akai. It was one turtle. That was, usually good. That's usually good for the Akai. But even then, 2 turtles went over to Falcons AP.Bren, and they played in a way where they delayed all the turtles to a point where we only got 2 turtles that game.
Yeah. The thing is, the Julian was left unchecked. You can see the quick activation of Super Marcos. Well, this is Roger anyways. We know
winning
that
matchup.
it's a winning matchup going up against Nathan, well, it doesn't actually technically win. It's still a 50-50, it's still a skills matchup. But at the same time, you win because you can get out of the lane faster, which also means that you're activated earlier. Now, in the second turtle fight, you can actually output the damage. While the Nathan, you are going to be dependent on your positioning. The Arlot was a problem definitely for that Nathan, as you saw. So I felt like, okay, understandable that they third picked the Nathan, but at the same time they didn't ban Arlot, which was the traditional answer to that. So there were many fundamentally questionable decisions coming out from Team Liquid Echo. And the thing is, they won game number 3, and we kind of smashed all of our, fundamental understandings of the game because they won. I mean, winning solves everything, but unfortunately, they didn't work in game number 4.
I mean, with that being said, we got to look at our Sony MVP. And it's gonna be FlapTeasy. And again, whenever we're like, oh, maybe this year is like 50-50, he'd be like, hold my drink.
Hold my drink.
Hold my drink, and then let me show you guys how it's done. I mean, like, we gotta talk about one of the GOATs here. The GOAT race, I guess at least in MSC, has been won by FlapTeasy.
Definitely. FlapTeasy and Few, right? Because technically they go in together, but yeah, FlapTeasy, especially after that celebration, definitely the louder one of the two. And even in the performances, way louder with the final slashes connecting a lot of the times as well. Like you said, Will, this is what...
At that, finding Carl TZ, that's a 3rd death on the Akai, just level 8 at 6 minutes, and you can see that FlapTeasy, they will eventually land a good stuff, but he reserves he gets up Queen's Wings, gets the cooldown on the final slash just in time when Benny Cutie showed up, 5 seconds before the Purify. So everything worked in favor of FlapTeasy. How was he able to stand? We don't know. Maybe we can ask him later. 13 KDA on the EXP lane.
87% kill participation. Let's talk about the kill pressure, because that's something you don't really see in terms of the number. I mean, like, this is how much kills he's involved with, but the
especially
kill
with items.
Yeah, especially with the items. I guess you can say it's kind of offensive with the Thunderbelt, but
Yeah, it's T-Belt. It's a defensive build almost, utility.
It is. It's actually totally it.
And now with us, it's Master Ogwen. So first of all, how does it feel getting your revenge?
It's pretty fun because he got Flap's revenge and he shouted at them. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
What did he say?
Like, I love you.
What did he say?
I love you. Better luck next time, buddy.
I love you. Better luck next time. And then say it over and over and over and over again.
I love you. While standing on a chair.
How is it that you guys are playing thousands of kilometers away from home? How does it feel like to play with a home ground advantage?
Yeah.
I think it's similar to M5. Actually, we really have so many fans here. So it's really surprising. It's really overwhelming when it comes to their support. So yeah, it's really good.
Honestly, even for us, we're surprised because looking at the Amazon Arena, it was packed, it was full. Now, I gotta say, in terms of the matchup just now, it was 3-1. Throughout this MSC, you guys said all the competitions has been pretty easy. Going up against CLPH just now, do you guys felt like it was actually still easy?
Well, what I think it's still easy for me.
Oh, for him it's still easy.
Okay.
Yeah. On game 3, we just give it away.
Oh.
So that the ticket of the fans will not waste.
Yeah, because everyone's here, everyone's celebrating, having fun. It's like, okay, let's not ruin anyone's fun. And now, speaking of which, seeing your hero here, Minotaur, I gotta say, in the game, you made a lot of moments. Is there at any point in the game where you guys felt like, okay, we win this fight, we win the game altogether at the last game of the match?
I think the last game, it doesn't matter. We just stomp them.
Doesn't matter. Every single time they make a play, it's all game of winning. And honestly, this match has been amazing. Now, we got a quote coming in from JP where JP said he's looking forward to face against Falcon AP.Bren because for him, it doesn't matter who wins. If TLPH wins, they will be the champions of MSC. If Falcons AP.Bren wins, they'll be the champion of MSC. So now, people saying semifinals feels like grand finals. Do you agree? Do you feel like after beating TLPH, it's going to be easier from this point forward?
From what I think, I also used that line when I got interviewed. I think it's really this is the hardest part for our journey. If we ever win the semis, I think we can clutch up the championship.
There you go.
I mean, again,
prepare the victory party then.
Yeah, better throw the victory party. But that being said, we got to look at our STC play. Let's see what you guys predicted. And in terms of the numbers, it's pretty close. 57% said Falcons AP.Bren is going to win. 43% said that Team Liquid Echo was going to win. So how do you feel looking at this difference in terms of audience prediction?
I think it's pretty fair because on the TLPH run in the playoffs, Falcons get a 1 point. So I think it's pretty accurate.
Speaking of which, just want to ask, now that the match is over, so maybe it's fine to talk about this. Did you guys prepare for today knowing that Carl TZ will not use a damage dealing jungler, or were you guys prepared just in case if he does pick up a damage jungler?
We are prepared if we ever pick utility or assassin on us because KLTZ always know how to utilize or play against utility or assassin jungles. So I think it's pretty our advantage right now.
What about the statement, right? I mean, from Flap TZ, he said that, okay, Sanford, get ready. I'm going to demolish you in the XP. Did you already have that animosity as well, maybe with JP?
No, I think I'll just destroy the whole TLPH.
The whole team. His beef is with the whole team, not just with one member.
Okay. So
I mean, to really see it, we're going to throw up your performance in this match to really see how Master Ogwen really mastered over Liquid Echo. And all that, we can still talk about how this journey has been amazing. At this point, you guys won like what, $500,000 US?
Congratulations, man.
Like just think about
really
with 500K. What are you guys going to do with the money?
First, we need to win the championship first, then we will decide what we do with the money.
I thought you were going to say Project LeBron, put more in on Project LeBron.
Yeah, actually, yeah. Project Faker.
Okay, there you go.
Nice.
Yeah, honestly, looking at all the plays here, it really does look like Falcons AP.Bren are always in the driver's seat. And TLPH just has to follow how you guys have been playing the game. So honestly, in this matchup, is there any player from TLPH that is a little bit more troublesome compared to the rest?
I think the really trouble when it comes to the TLPH, I think it's the Sansan duo. It really gives their jungler space a lot. Yeah. So the Louis pick and the using pick is always get us when it comes to surprising us.
So honestly, facing up against, again, the Sansan duo or Sanji as well as Sanford, is there any point where you want to engage for a fight, but because Sanford has been aggressive going to the backlines, that it's like you can't engage, you just have to protect your backlines?
Come again?
Can you get help translate?
Paano ba na-approach si Sanford at si Sansan? Parang paano sila nagpahirap sa inyo?
If they have like a full kit of their skill, it will be a trouble for us. But if we out macroed them, we can. I think we can fight them.
Yeah. After this, here's the thing. Like, we don't have the video ready just yet, but the thing is, soon the video of the crushing of the key is gonna be shown. And did you thought that before you seen the brackets, before anything, that do you thought that TLPH, their key, is going to be broken by semifinals?
If we ever face us, I think yes.
There you go.
Well,
If they face us in the quarterfinals, you know what? That's it.
Yeah.
You know what?
Yeah.
GG's.
Maybe in group even, right? But okay, you've crushed a lot of dreams, in your run here in MSC. Is this crushing of the key? Is this liquid crush the best feeling? Is this the most satisfying one, or will you wait for the finals?
No, I think it's the satisfying one yet.
Okay. It's the most satisfying one.
Very well. I have a question. What happened? What did you do after MPL playoffs in season 13 that you guys were able to bring it back, bounce back together as a team? You actually transformed. This is so far away from your performance in MPL PH season 13.
I think we just got lucky on the meta. That's it.
Oh, interesting.
I mean, like, here's the thing. We were looking at Kyle Teasy. Kyle Teasy is looking very comfortable, and the thing is, he's not just like one hero, two heroes. He's been mixing it up. Like the fact that even Julian can go mid, like that's crazy, right? So honestly, like, we seen few using the Julian in mid. Is there any potential that he'll be using non-mage heroes in mid as well for the grand finals?
I think it fits the draft, and you will see it in the finals.
Will you play Julian in Rome?
Yeah, I've tried in scrims, but they don't want to.
Oh, okay. When he says that, maybe he's trying to like throw a curveball as well. We won't pick it, and then suddenly he picks it up.
I mean, here's the thing. Like, even though we saw the interviews and most of you guys say that you guys think that SRG will be going to the grand finals to meet with you guys, but do you feel like tomorrow NIP Flash going up against Langray Giants, either NIP Flash wins or either SRG wins, do you think it's going to be a tough matchup? Do you think it's going to go all 5 games, or is it going to be a stomp?
I think it's going to be all 5 games again.
Ooh.
And it's also either of them will win.
So SRG or NIP Flash? The Ogwen prediction.
What's the Ogwen prediction?
I'll go with NIP.
NIP Flash. Ooh.
You know what I like? We talk about how casters have cursed. So far in the MSC, no one from the player side has predicted correctly. So you know what?
True.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. But for now, we're going to look at the key being crushed. So, we're going to throw it over and prepare yourself for this one.
We're here with the grand finalist of MSC 2024 at the Esports World Cup, the captain of Falcons, AP.Bren. Few, congratulations. What does it feel right now that you're holding this key and you're about to crush your opponent's key from the Philippines, your countryman?
Sobrang saya kasi yung nakuha na namin yung kinang Liquid Echo na tumalo sa amin sa MPLPH, tapos sila rin yung but para naging underdog na ulit kami ngayon Tapos ngayon, dinurog na namin sila.
He's really happy because now they're able to exact revenge against Liquid Echo, who was able to defeat them in the finals of MPL Philippines. And that caused them to be the underdog this time. So now he's about to crush the key. Few, go ahead, proceed to the key crushing machine. Falcons AP.Bren has gone on a world tour to claim trophy after trophies. They're here to prove that they're still the best in the world. And now the key crushing will proceed. This symbolizes Falcons AP.Bren's success in this tournament, crushing their opponent. They are one best of 7 series away from claiming the only trophy that they have yet to receive in their trophy cabinet. Few will now step forward to claim the opponent's crushed key. Few, you may now show it to everybody. Congratulations. This symbolizes your success. What do you have to say to all the Falcons AP.Bren fans and to everybody in the Philippines?
Sa lahat ng fans na nagpunta dito, sobrang laking pasasalamat namin sa inyo kasi sobrang saya nung laban ngayon. Rinig na rinig namin yung crowd. Parang hometown na natin to Tapos sa lahat din ng sumuporta sa amin na nasa Pilipinas, syempre, sa pagpupuyat nyo, sa pagsuporta sa amin palagi, manalo o matalo. Thank you.
He's thanking everybody from Riyadh for cheering for them, for coming to the venue, because the cheers are so loud, they feel that they're still in the Philippines. And to everybody watching at home, he's thanking them for all your support. Congratulations. In the Philippines, for sure, and all the Filipinos, they're all proud of you. You're ahead of the greatest of all-time race. Good luck for your next best of 7 series. 1 win away. And now we're gonna break it down for you with the panel to talk more about the ski crushing ceremony.
Thank you very much, Mara. And honestly, like, we've been asking the players how they feel, but now I'm gonna change it up. Like, do you feel we need to implement this in other tournaments as well?
I think it's really a good idea. You know, it's really toxic idea.
Yeah.
So EWC,
Yeah.
you see your keys crush and they use it as a totem, especially the championship.
Does it feel heavy? How does it feel like? Is it heavy?
I haven't touched it yet.
Oh.
Which one are you gonna use for your trophy? You get to pick 3,
If
right?
If we ever win, I think it's SRG, Liquid, and let's see, Falcons.
Oh, Falcons. Okay.
That's actually very, very interesting.
Okay.
Now, I do have to say again, congratulations. I'm pretty sure you're going to be watching the match for tomorrow and preparing for your grand finals match. But before that, looking at the camera, is there anything that you want to say to all the fans watching?
Thank you so much for watching us, and I hope you support us in the grand finals, and especially at the nasa Pilipinas dyan. Maraming salamat sa mga nanonood at sumuporta sa amin sa Echo. Yun lang. Maraming salamat po.
Yeah, you just basically said thank you to every Filipino still at home supporting Falcons AP.Bren and the Team Liquid Echo.
All right, thank you very much. With that being said, we're going to be continuing by looking at our brackets, as well as we're going to be looking at tomorrow's schedule. Looking at the brackets here, we see that Falcons AP.Bren, with a 3-1 victory, are now waiting in the grand finals, and specifically waiting for either Selangor Giants or NIP Flash.
So, Lafel, who do you think is gonna win? SRG versus NIP Flash?
Do we curse or not, huh? I have no idea. At this point, I don't know myself. Tomorrow, it's going to be SRG against NIP Flash in a best of 5.
Yeah, pretty good.
Pretty good avoider.
Pretty good at dodgeball, I see.
Yeah.
I'm practicing to be a goal leaner. Yeah. Been going
Still
up against,
not answering the
been going up against a lot of Nathans, you know. It's
Still
just like
stalling, huh?
here and
So,
there,
okay,
here and there.
who are you rooting for?
Who am I rooting for?
Yeah. We're not asking you who you think will win, but
No.
who are you rooting for?
No, I get it. I feel like that's a very important question. I feel like we should address it. Like, we should address the MLBB Women Invitational 2024 starting on July 24th. The only all-female tournament at the Esports World Cup features 12 teams from 11 regions, breaking barriers and redefining esports. Now, I'm sure you guys want me to talk about it because we want to capture the moment of what I think about.
Yeah.
And with that, capture moments like a pro with the 6-axis hybrid gimbal stabilizer equipped camera. Asus RG is the official gaming phone of the MSC 2024. Now, you guys would want to know between NIP Flash as well as SRG who I'm rooting for, right?
Yeah. Battle.
Well, it's a battle within. The Soul Vessel Skin Series, Amon, Vessel of the Seed, and Hanabi, Vessel of Rage, are now available, but it's only going to be available until the August of 5th. So make sure you guys grab these awesome skins. If you're looking to get them, the first time you draw is going to be 50% off every single day, and a permanent Soul Vessel Series item is guaranteed in the first 10 times draw right now. So make sure you guys join in as fast as you can.
Waiting for you, we're losing our youth.
You're losing your youth?
It's not fair.
I mean, you can grab it back because the Youth Fair is here with incredible bonuses and exciting events. Grab multiple permanent skins for free, just like Sivana's Classroom Charm and its painted skin, Classroom Glam. More exciting events will be revealed, so make sure you guys watch out for that one. Speaking of which, you want to know my opinion, for sure.
I want to know.
I want to give you feedback at this point
me
to
too.
answer some of our questions before you go on a sponsor spiel.
With that being said, you guys can give your feedback. Your opinion matters. Scan the QR code for the broadcast feedback survey and let us know your thoughts. What else are we going to improve to make sure that this becomes an amazing grand finals? Are you done? Yeah, I got nothing else. I mean, with that being said,
Answer the question, man.
Answer the question, man.
Answer the question.
SRG or NIP Flash?
Only one team.
All right. SRG or NIP Flash. Both teams are honestly incredible, and both teams should be thankful. Speaking of thankful, thank you to Mirko as well as Wolf for being amazing analysts for today. And we got to check out the Kadia play of the day, and we're going to talk about all the plays of today. So let's check it out. And again, what an amazing day so far. Don't you guys feel like that?
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. Not really for a lot of the Liquid Echo fans, but definitely for all the Falcons AP.Bren fans. I think, you know what? Even the Liquid Echo fans, they can be happy with some of the plays that they were able to make because, man, Sanford getting the outplay up top in the first game. A lot of the lings from Kyle TZs as well. I mean, the Julians coming in from Kyle, few, so many of them.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that the fans are very happy of the turnout. I kind of envy all the people that is actually part of the crowd. They're very happy. They're feeling energized. We can feel their energy even when we are not inside this stadium or we're in a different room. But yeah, I envy them, man.
Dude, again, like throughout today, it's amazing that it's not a sweep. I really thought it could go the distance.
Same.
But again, this just shows how dominating Falcon AP.Bren really is. And like they said, this meta's really helping them out.
Definitely. I think even here, right, being in Saudi Arabia, it's really good for them because not only do they have the Filipino supporters, but they also have the Saudi Arabian supporters too, because me and Wolf, while the game was happening, we saw a lot of the Falcons fans as well in the building supporting with their own jerseys too, which is really, really cool.
It's really, really cool. And of course, the fact that we have seen the battle of the drafters as well, right? It's also a very interesting battle. Obviously, it's easy to say that the Falcons AP.Bren have gotten the better end of the deal. But at the same time, if you just look back at how the drafting went, Falcons AP.Bren definitely transformed.
With that being said, that's the end of the first day of the semifinals, the third day of the knockout stage at the Mid-Season Cup 2024. My name's Afel. Thank you very much to both Mirko as well as Wolf. You guys did an amazing job. Thank you very much to Gideon as well as Leo for casting amazing matches. Thank you to everyone watching. And for you guys at home, I'm going to give it to you. I think SRG against NIP Flash, the one that wins tomorrow is